No, but what I love, I'm so jealous. I think I'm jealous. I really am jealous.
Okay.
Why?
I'm watching it. See, you guys are accessible to me. You're not movie stars to me. You're just two guys.
Right.
Jay, I think Jay I put in a different category because he directs movies and
He's a douchebag. He's a douchebag.
Yeah. He speaks a different language.
He does, and like I told you one long time ago, like the Chive was like reached out to Jay and me, and then Jay was like, "Hey man, this is really cool. Like, how do we? Thanks for this." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't do anything. I just tagged you in it." He was like, "Wait, so you don't work for them?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, never mind. I don't need to talk to you then." And I was like, but by the way, he's fucking ripped.
Who is?
You know, I don't understand this because
that's bullshit.
Somebody,
it's all shadowing,
he's
dude.
Fucking.
It's all shadowing.
Ripped.
Honestly.
and I was like, dude, with that fucking beard, like I was like, he's a leading man. And then he goes with the mustache, and I'm like, there he is.
But
Dude, you're more ripped than he is. Trust me. Trust me.
No. Somebody else said this to me after watching, like a while ago. They were like, I got so distracted by how ripped Jay was, and I was like, are we watching the same movie?
Dude, he was yoked. Like.
It's the makeup and the shadowing because like that belly jiggles.
For real?
Oh yeah, and those tits are not filled with muscle; they're filled with milk.
I started watching and I got jealous. I was like, this looks like so much fun to shoot. Like just the bus scene alone.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful view. The lake's behind you.
Sure, yeah.
And you're just fucking giggling and screwing around, and then to watch the scenes. By the way, Will Sasso is. I love the casting in this movie.
Yeah.
You really got home run casting.
Will Sasso is awesome. Have
Will
you had Will
Sasso
Sasso in your podcast?
No.
You have to because he's an unbelievable.
That's shocking to me.
guest.
I would have thought you guys are friends.
You have him on.
No, we have mutual friends. We just run different circles, and I think he's always off shooting stuff.
Yeah.
The other Mounties, the guy from fucking the versus Paul versus the Evil.
Oh yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
And the guy from my favorite show on Amazon is the one with the other guy. He's a lead.
Hayes MacArthur.
Well, yeah. He's in that one. He's
Angie Tribeca.
Angie Tribeca.
Yeah.
Dude, the casting. I'm like sitting here going like, and then the girl from. This is the only thing I will say. The only note I would give you guys.
Give it to us.
You guys.
By the way, it's too late for us to take notes, but give it to us.
You guys cast people where I go, wait, who the fuck is that? I know her. How do I know her? Who is that? Like I lost the whole introduction before the
Trying to figure her out.
And it's fucking Sloan from Entourage.
Should we have put like a little thing, like a little chyron?
It wouldn't have been bad. It wouldn't have been bad.
In parentheses, it's Sloan.
So what? She's speaking French though.
So I'm gonna. This interview will probably be from a like real curious side of like almost nuts and bolts of stuff like this.
Okay.
So you guys make the first one. You have plans on making the second one. What is the time between the first one and when you start production, or you start pre-production on this one?
It's not a simple question.
Yeah.
It's not a simple answer, really.
But yeah, 15 years probably. I would imagine because we went in like we wanted to make some other movies. We made some other movies. Then we went in and we pitched Fox.
Club Dread is one of my favorite fucking movies.
Club Dread,
ever.
Beer Fest. We made a couple other ones.
Dude, I just watched Beer Fest the other day. Beer Fest was a lead-in in 2009 for my Comedy Central special.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a lead-in for it.
You must have had great views for that because Beer Fest has great views on Comedy Central, dude.
I didn't notice a bump, but
yeah. Bert doubled. He doubled what was Beer Fest.
Yeah, no, you and Beer Fest are pretty much the same crowd.
I really felt like they had put some thought into my lead-in.
Yeah,
like I was like, this is genius, but I was wearing a shirt in that special. So 15 years from when you do the last one to when you start pre-production.
Well, the first one, we made it in like 2000. Yeah, it premiered at the 2001 Sundance Film Festival where Searchlight bought it, and then they didn't release it until a year after that. So that in and of itself took a while to do.
Yeah.
And then Kevin was saying, we pitched them the idea for Super Troopers 2 in 2008, and we were auditing them on Super Troopers 1, and so we were negotiating in good faith with them, but like there was no sale or anything like that, and we started writing the script in 2009, maybe 2008, right?
Yeah.
And then
it just went back and forth, and then years later we decided that it was stopped, so we decided to do the crowdfunding thing.
But we did like 35 drafts of the script.
Really?
And yeah, it's just you have all that time, and we were looking for financing the entire time and couldn't get it. And I think between the studio and financiers, people thought, well, Super Troopers 1 was really a DVD movie. Like, it did okay at the box office, relatively speaking, for a movie without stars, but that was a DVD movie that took a few years to kind of slow burn out there and become what it became. And then, and then they also felt maybe the fans weren't there anymore because it had been a while. And so the well was dry. And so we decided to do this Indiegogo campaign in 2015. And we got this guy, Ivan Asquith, who's like the guy who did the Veronica Mars campaign.
Oh, yeah?
And Reading Rainbow. Like at that point, they were the two biggest campaigns to date. And it's kind of funny because with a guy like that, we actually had to go pitch him Super Troopers 2. And like...
So what does this guy do? He like just sets
He's a
up?
crowdfunding whisperer.
Yeah.
He really does. He just does
But he doesn't.
crowdfunding.
But he won't just do any crowdfunding campaign. Like he has to. It is like pitching a studio, basically. Like we had to go and sell him on the fact that this could be big, and and this could be something that would compete with his other large campaigns.
I wanted to do a crowdfunding to buy the Bucks.
How'd it go?
Be like, and just be like, guys, everyone just all I need is $1 billion.
Sure,
I think.
it's a billion. That's a
And
cool
then
billion.
buy the Bucks, and then I promise you, I'll run them. I'll be the people's owner.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's the problem with me is I have an idea, and then I just go, fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
So do we.
No, you don't.
Well, no. Then we hire this guy, and this guy puts together this campaign. He raised $5 million.
Really?
$5 million put together.
Yeah, but the truth is, like, we couldn't have done it. We couldn't have done it on our own. We needed this guy, and it was evident that the minute we started working with him, like, there's a psychology. I mean, this guy went to MIT, and there's a psychology behind it. He was like, you can't ask for too much, because if you ask for too much, then you actually might frighten people away who are like, oh, there's no way they're gonna, they'll ever get that. So why bother putting it into it? And so, I think, so we asked for $2 million, which was really lowballing what we needed to make the movie for.
$2 million. Do you guys have your salaries involved in that?
Salary.
That was like
you get paid on that?
bro.
that would be SAG minimum wage right there. But this was going to be a labor of love.
Yeah.
But we needed more, and the studio mandated that we had to have a minimum, a floor for the budget in order for them to distribute the movie.
But you look at $2 million and go, and he's the wizard going, yeah, but $2 million and I can bump it up.
Yeah. That's the whole point. It's like you ask for 2 and then you raise 4, and it's like, wow, look what a success story this is. You know what I mean?
But you plan for it in advance. Then you say, like, you're shooting videos that are like, hey, we've reached this plateau, we can do this much more. And, because the people are, in his experience, going to continue to contribute. And he says they get really excited if they exceed the goal, and they'll just keep going. Yeah. And so, we would look at some campaigns that were successful and some that weren't successful. And I think the thing that we noticed with the successful ones is that there was more content than on the ones that weren't as successful. People who were just like, hey, give us money, and then like that was it. So we decided to do this campaign where we're putting Farva in the trunk of a car, and we were going to revisit him every day. And so, like, over a couple of days, we shot like 30 different pieces that were each one was going to be released each day.
And I have a buddy, Zane Lamprey, who is a Kickstarter whisperer.
Yeah,
he's got the most successful fashion products ever in the history. Like the drinking jacket, the adventure jacket.
Yeah.
Like he raises millions of dollars for a jacket.
Yeah,
and it's really crazy. But
that shit, that's like those products always make more dough than like a movie or something like that. Because people want that watch or whatever it is.
Yeah, there was like a card game. They raised like $10 million for like a board game or something like that.
I bought the Romp Him.
The
male romper. I bought 2 of them and never even fucking delivered them.
Oh really?
Oh.
Yeah, those assholes.
What did you donate?
I bought probably fucking $300. I wanted this romper so bad. I've only donated to 2 things in my entire life, I think.
Yeah. Honk honk. What if the UPS is outside right now?
Dude, I've been waiting.
Will you wear the rompers?
Well, no, because my
rompers here.
My body was good when I bought the romper. I was in like great shape, and now I'm like 10 pounds heavier. I'd feel it won't look good in a romper.
Your body's still good.
I thought you were running marathons now.
I did run the marathon. That was one of the biggest mistakes of my life.
LA marathon?
Oh yeah, LA marathon. No training.
Why? What do you mean no training?
No training. Didn't train for it.
Did you finish?
Yep.
You ran 26 miles just like that?
Yep. Just got
Holy
it and
shit,
did it.
dude.
Because I believe in that Mickey Mantle.
Did you stop at all and walk?
Oh yeah, I definitely walked.
So like it took you how long?
5 hours and 33 minutes.
That's still pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's still pretty good.
I got in at 20 miles. I was the first time I walked.
Okay.
At 20 miles was the first
that's
time I
still good,
walked,
man.
and I watched my legs seized up, my calves seized up, my quad seized up, and the woman in front of me shit her pants.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
went,
God.
now I know why you train.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
Did you have any irreparable damage to your body from that thing or not?
Kind of. Not totally, but I will say that my feet are not 100%, meaning like I used to have heel spurs,
Yeah.
and now they're kind of coming back a little bit.
Yeah.
My toenails are all fucked up.
Okay. Are they even attached anymore? Or?
No. They're coming back. They're getting better, but there's blood underneath them
Yeah.
on
Okay.
a couple of them. So, but I'm making it sound worse than it is. I did cryogenic therapy and it really helped.
Would you do it again though?
Well, so this is what this is what we were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I've done a couple of big events. I talk out of my ass. So like I told Leanne one time when we were talking about a pool, I was like, I'm pretty sure I could build us a pool.
Yeah.
And she was like, you definitely cannot. And I was like, no, I think I could. Like, I have
With
these.
what, like a shovel?
No, I get a backhoe back here and dig it up and then put some concrete down, make it my own pool. Like,
Sure.
I was like, I want a shot at building our pool before we start building our pool.
Sure,
And
yeah.
she was like, you're out of your fucking mind. I told a professional field goal kicker, Pat McAfee, I'm pretty certain with like a couple months training, I could be a competitive professional field goal kicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I told Rogan I could run a marathon with no training.
Okay.
And he was like, you're talking out of your ass. I said, I'll do it. I believe I can do it. Now, what happens in these things, like I told Tom Segura, I could beat him in a weight loss challenge. I lost 40
Right.
pounds in a month.
Right.
Like I can set my mind to something and focus on that and achieve that goal. It'll hurt and it'll be painful, but it's, so I was saying to my team the other day, what I really want is just someone to finance me and
Yeah.
give me a couple $1 million and let me shoot my own show of
Sure.
whatever it is. Like, I'm pretty sure, I want to try to get to base camp for Everest. Just
Okay.
get to base
Okay.
camp. Like,
My cousin just went.
I want
Cousin
to
just
sail.
went.
Like we were going to Hawaii, and I was like, I wonder if I could sail to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like, I bet I could probably figure that out.
Bert, listen.
When this special
If you're
came
gonna
out,
sail to-
when this special came out, I said to Comedy Central, we need to do something big to promote my special. And they said, what do you think? And I said, I want to ride a jet ski from Mexico to Tampa.
Bert, this is fine for you to do. The mind is a powerful thing. Before you do either of those two things, just leave me the keys to your house. Okay?
Wait, did you ride the jet ski?
Hey Siri, shut the fuck up. Hey Alexa, stop.
Why is she so fucking mouthy?
Just chimes in like a fucking typical woman. I'm joking. By the way, what's sad is the best looking person in the room is sitting behind the camera. I'm such a jackass.
I know. Seriously, what's your problem? Put a camera on this woman.
I know. I feel like you should sit in the middle of us, and then people keep watching.
But I had a funny experience back before Russell Simmons was, accused of all the things he did. I was working with him on a couple of projects, and I went over to his house, and he wanted to show off, and he was like, "Okay, Google, who is Russell Simmons?" And she was like, "Russell Simmons, hip hop impresario." He's like, "Okay, Google, shut up." And she quietly, he was like, "Okay, Google, who is Steve Lemme?" And she was like, I have no record of a Steve Lemme. He's like, you see that, motherfucker? And I was like, why don't you try pronouncing my name properly? And he's like, you do it. And I was like, fine. Okay, Google, who is Steve Lemme? She was like, Steve Lemme, born November 13th, 19th. And he was like, okay, Google. And he's like, all right, shut the fuck up. You made your point. Anyway, I like those little gadgets right there.
Alexa, who's Bert Kreischer?
Bert Kreischer is an American stand-up comedian, reality television host, and actor.
Alexa, who's the machine?
The Machine, the former Alpha Rho chapter of Theta Nu Epsilon at the University of Alabama.
No.
Oh, I heard about that. Oh, Alexa, shut up. Alexa, stop. God, I heard about that. That is...
No, it's Bert Kreischer.
Alexa, who is Kevin Heffernan?
Kevin Heffernan is an American actor, writer, producer, and director, and member of the Broken Lizard comedy group.
There we
Wow.
go.
God.
Good. Thanks, Alexa.
So yeah, so part of me goes, I watch you make this, and then I go, I want to start, because I'm obsessed with just making things now. Like, I feel like I'm done with the television system. I'm done with all of it. I just want to start making stuff, because there is a weird, like, I remember when I found you guys the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to Universal Studios. I think we saw your movie at Universal Studios. Is that not Universal Studios? Universal, the
City Walk. Or
City
whatever?
Walk. I think we watched your movie there.
Yeah.
And the whole ride there, my buddy Lorenzo was like, "No, you don't understand. They made this on their own. This is a group of guys. This is like I think people get more attachment to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's certainly, I mean, with the Indiegogo campaign, we certainly saw that. I mean, the fans did show up. And so they showed up quickly. And I think that was, you know, we were out there on Reddit and doing all that with the content. But like, you get a real sense, like when we're at these screenings, because we've done a tour of screenings for the Indiegogo backers.
Yeah.
That you realize that it could not have happened without them. And so it really is, you know, such a good example of like, I mean, it's a group effort, you know, and you're meeting all these people who were like, I contributed. I mean, they made the movie, and it is something that like we're all in it together, and that's, you know, it's palpable.
Well, anyone that listens to my podcast knows where I'm going with this immediately. I had a guy. This is, I think, what you're talking about, and I've just now bought on to the idea of it. I had a guy in West Palm stop me at my meet and greet. It was like the line's forever, and he takes his shirt off. And he's like, I just need to talk to you for like 2 minutes. I need you to listen.
Torso to torso.
Yep. And he's hammered. It's New Year's Eve. He's hammered. And I'm like, all right. And he goes, I'm a fan. He goes, do you know what that means? I was like, yeah, I appreciate it, man. You listen to the podcast? He goes, no. When you succeed, that makes me happy. Like when good things happen to you, I feel like they happen to me because I'm your fan. I want you to succeed because I want you to have the best life you can ever have because that would make me happy. It was a much longer speech, but that was the gist of it. And I was left with this like, yeah, because I'm a fan of shit.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of your guys'. It's like when I heard this was coming out, I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I turn it on, I have this goofy smile on my face watching your movie because I'm a fan and I'm happy that you guys are succeeding. Like I'm like, it's the weirdest thing. Like I would sit and watch a movie with a goofy smile, just like that's what a fan does.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. But that's cool that you're taking this around and showing it to the fans, people who want you to succeed.
Because you realize that, and it's like, you at some point you realize that these people will come up to you. You've had the same experience, right? They come up to you in the meet and greets afterwards, or whatever it is, and it's like, hey, I missed my car payment on my truck so I could donate to your movie because I wanted to see it so bad. And you're like, holy shit.
Well, you feel bad.
So humbling.
Like, please don't do that. Please don't.
Like, don't do that, but please, you know.
A guy in Philly. I did my special in Philly that just recently, and this guy emails Leanne, right? Me, but it goes to Leanne, and he's like, I didn't know he was going to add shows. I didn't know that they were going to add seats on the Saturday show. I'd love to be at this taping. I'm a legit fan, but I had to pay my heating bill or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I spent that money already. And if there was any way you guys could comp 2 tickets, I don't have any money, but I'll send you a check. And he goes, I know you're not going to give me your address, so I'll send it to Doug Stanhope, who then can send it to Bert. Because Stanhope gives out his address. Right. Leanne read this, and she was like, oh my God. So I was like, fuck, leave him the tickets, and then leave him $100 so we can drink. Yeah. So I don't want him to see my show sober. But
no, that's, you know, it's awesome. Like last night, it was funny because we did a screening for Collider at the ArcLight in Sherman Oaks. I had like 2 hours to kill after this thing we did. So like I was driving, I was starving, I had to do some work, and I saw Jerry's Deli. I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna suck down some matzo ball soup and have a delicious experience. And I stopped there and like I had my meal. I worked for like an hour and a half, and then I asked the waitress for the check, and she's like, oh, the check's been taken care of. And I was like, who took care of the check? She's like, it's just been taken care of. And I said, who took care of the check? And she said, it's taken care of. And I was like, do you know who took care of the check? She's like, maybe. And I was like, is that person here right now? She's like, I don't know. I was like, so you're not supposed to tell me who it is? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. And she walked away, and I was like, I started looking around the restaurant. There were like people at the next booth over, and I was like, it's not them. I was looking all over, and then it was like, I just looked like over the partition to the dude eating solo in the booth next to me, and he's just looking at me, and he waved to me, and he's like, I don't mean to be creepy, but I'm a huge fan. He's like, military guy, you got me through hard times, you made me laugh.
That's what it
is. This is much respect. He's like, I just want to shake your hand. I was like, dude. And
that matzo ball soup's on me, brother.
Holy shit. Well, you know, it was also like a tuna panini with capers and mustard cheese.
Whoa.
Which is what I recommend at Jerry's Deli and an Arnold Palmer. But like, you know, it's like, you're just like, God damn, like, come on. Like, I'm going to pay for your meal. He's like, I already paid for my own meal because I knew you were going to do that. I was like, fuck. And then, so then I walked out, and then I was like, did he leave a tip for that? All right, I got to go back in, and I have to leave a nice tip, and I put it down. Sure. But it's just like, you're like, holy shit. Like, I mean, this is, when you reach people like that, and you meet these people on the street who come up to you, and they're like, hey, I contributed to your campaign. You're like, just come here, give me a hug. Just give me a fucking hug, you know?
That's it's so applicable for you guys because they're giving you money to do what you want to do, like what your dream is.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, I mean, look, you hear like rock stars shout out like, you know, we couldn't do without the fans. And
that's what it is. I remember Dane was like, I'm not shit on Dane. I love Dane. But like, he would be like, he was like, it's all for the fans. And I felt that there was a disconnect from what he was saying to what I felt. Because I was like, I didn't have any fans at the time.
Yeah.
And now that I have what I will call fans, I go, oh, this is pretty fucking awesome. I think he did realize what he was saying. I think there wasn't a disconnect. I think he was like, because he was built a career on people becoming obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fucking fascinating.
Well, I think if they mean it, you know, but I don't even know that like I understood what that meant until we did the crowdfunding campaign, because it's like, it's not like putting out the thing and then they're like, oh, I'll pay $10 to come see you. In this case, they're like, we're going to pay the money in advance because we believe in you and we want you to do this. So here's the money.
Which adds that extra pressure of not fucking it up. You know what I mean? Like you were talking about earlier, like what we all want to do is just make our own shit.
Yeah.
Right? But now you've got people who are invested in your shit that you should care about and they care about you. So you shouldn't fuck it up. So
So
don't fuck it up, you guys.
But it's also funny because like there's still a reality, and like so we would have these people out to the set. There was a certain package, you'd come be an extra, and I think like 400 people bought this package, and so like every weekend.
Were they in the town hall speech?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are all
cool.
crowdfunders.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we made sure.
Oh, how fucking cool!
Yeah.
Yeah, and we made sure, like in the editing room, like get everyone on, like make sure everyone's on screen.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point. And so each weekend we'd have 100 people come, and they'd get to be in these scenes. And you know, I remember the first weekend, it was that scene, and I was out there, and you realize you're playing host, and so I don't know who had been out there to speak to them, but by the time I got out there, but like I went out and I was like, thank you so much. I'm like, you know, shaking hands,
Getting choked up.
meeting everybody, and then you like address them. You're like, you know, we really couldn't have done this without you. And you're like, holy shit, I'm getting fucking emotional because I'm feeling this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you know, you say thank you, and then you start to tell them some stories from the set. In the middle of like one story, I'm about to get to a great punchline. Our crowdfunding campaign is like, Rob Lowe's available to take photos, and everybody fucking bolts.
Rob Lowe's available to take photos.
Yeah, I'm saying it with my...
Yeah. Put a pin in that.
Yeah, okay, I'll be here. I'll be right here.
Love your movies, but excuse me.
Yeah.
Did okay? I have writing questions I want to ask you about.
Okay.
I have actor questions I want to ask you about. But I want to get to the crowdfund it, and then it's gonna be real, and then like. How does what's the process of making a movie? I mean, that sounds so silly. You get a $5 million check and you're like, let's go. I'd go be like, let's go buy cars.
Yeah. No, but we knew that we needed more money than that anyway. So that was just the thing that got us jump started. And so we had raised that money, and then what we didn't know, because we didn't know how this crowdfunding thing worked. We didn't know is that if you don't spend that money within the year, then you get taxed on it, and then you lose whatever 30, 40, 50% of it. So like we got to September, like holy shit, we got to spend it, and we didn't have all the money for the movie, so we just shot a week's worth of the movie, like the first week, like that opening scene, and that kind of stuff. So we shot that in 2015, and then we edited that together, and then we took that footage, and then we went back and we raised more money, and so then we got another, I don't know what it was. $6 or $7 million bucks.
Yeah,
from private money, from private guys who invest in movies, and then we just took that money and plugged it in. And over the years, you know, we've made these movies, so we have production people and crew people and all these guys that we know, and pulled them together, and then started shooting the movie.
But even then, it's like, you know, we got to the set the second time around. We had like 4 weeks of shooting to do, and like
how many total weeks of shooting did you guys do?
I think it's like
we did 6.
Yeah,
it was like 6
total.
It was like
Total.
28 days
Shooting every single day.
No, it was 5-day weeks. So it was a 28 shoot days. So yeah, it's about 6 weeks.
Yeah, but like we were there. We were there in Boston for the second installment, the big chunk of time.
Yeah,
and like right before
where did you shoot? You shot it in Boston?
Outside of
Boston. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally thought it was in Canada.
Yeah.
I really thought it was in Canada, and I was like, of course, it'll be cheaper there.
Yeah,
no, it was cheaper in Massachusetts. They had like a tax incentive, so we went there.
Oh, nice.
And then we shot in the middle of the state. There was like a big reservoir. That's what we shot, the opening scene.
Yeah.
And then the rest we shot just outside of Boston. So,
but immediately
movie magic, Bert.
The money started falling apart. Like, you know, like there's a lot of like, you know, flaky investors and
shady characters
in the business, and so like, I think for like the first 2 or 3 weeks, our producer would be like, yeah, you know, like halfway through the week, he'd be like, okay, here's the thing. We need to find $2 million more by the end of the week, or we got to send everybody home. And this happened to us like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. It was incredibly stressful because like we couldn't just sit back and enjoy the process, even though we still were.
Yeah.
We had to keep looking for the money, and somehow like it just kept coming together. And finally, with like the last 2 or 3 weeks, we were able to. We had enough money to make it through the shoot.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
it's so funny because none of that translates when watching the movie. Like none of the stress. Like I watched it, and it just looked like I really felt like you guys went to camp. Like I really got a feel that you guys went to camp.
Well, it is like
by
that.
the time we're shooting, that's kind of the way. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
You try to put all of their shit behind you and let the other people deal with that shit so that you can have fun on the set and make you know write good comedy and have fun. So
how did you guys go about getting such great cameos? Like
it was
Rob.
easier. Like once you make a sequel, like when you make the first one, it's harder to get the people for the first one.
Yeah.
But now a lot of those people have seen the movie, you know. So it's like Rob Lowe's seen Super Troopers.
Rob Lowe's not even a cameo. That's a coast. Like he's
he's a star.
He's a star of the movie.
Yeah, and he's
like,
he's good looking.
He's great. Is he Canadian?
No.
Okay, did you think about when you cast people in these roles, did you look for Canadians?
Yes.
Like, because those accents, I'm obsessed with the Montreal accent right now.
Well, Emmanuel.
Sasso's amazing.
He's amazing. He's Canadian, so like.
Oh, he's
and he's also an expert in like dialects and impressions, and all that shit. So he nailed
he
it.
went down the row. He went down the line of provinces. It was like, I could do it like this, eh? I could, I could do this, eh? Like, I mean, he really went through. He's like, I could do like a Yukon. I could do a thing, and he eventually settled on the voice of a previous prime minister.
Really,
John Kreischer, is that his name?
Yeah.
Something like that. Who's
Something like that.
A weird speaking French dude. Did you read the letter that I forwarded to you from our Indiegogo site? It's from a French Canadian.
Yeah, we had a French Canadian who was pissed. They thought we really offended the French.
But they haven't even seen the movie. This person, and it's an Alexis. So I don't know. It seems like a girl, but it could be a guy because it's French Canadian person, like Alexis Dubois. And they sent a thing like, I watched the trailer. I'm deeply offended.
Oh,
I bet, the French Canadian. But you're like, okay,
whatever. I was like, shut up.
It was so much fun when you flip flopped them making fun of us.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, here's the problem about this movie is I want to get into details, but I don't want to spoil it I don't want to spoil the joke. A joke is based on surprise, and so I don't want to spoil any jokes. But that was one of my favorite parts.
But I think that was an important thing too. Is like to have the Canadians give as good a shots at us as we gave to them, and then you go get guys like Will and Sasso and Tyler Labine. These guys who are good, and they're real Canadians. And Emmanuel Shrieky, Sloan from Entourage, she's a real Canadian. Like these people are real.
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Oh, she's fantastic. But that's the thing. She's like, I'm not doing a French Canadian accent. I'm doing a French accent, and she's like, I've already been getting heat from some of the French Canadians.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, because they're like, dude. There's a show on Netflix. I think it's with these two chefs, and they're both from Montreal. The Montreal accent is especially in women, is the sexiest accent in the world. It sounds like remember when Fonzie in Happy Days was in the mashup derby.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the girl Pinky something
Tuscadero.
Pinky Tuscadero. It sounds like Pinky Tuscadero's accent. Like it's like a weird, you can't place it. It's got an urban kick to it, but with a flair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna half agree with you.
You don't like it?
I don't like it on the guys. I think on the women, it's sexy.
I wish I could tell you the name of these two chefs. It's on Netflix. It's like Tim and Dave's Epic Adventure or something. And this guy, I watched the whole show just because I keep waiting for him to say words like, you're gonna do the dishes, huh? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like weird swallowings.
Well, that sounds charming to me. Charming to me. I think there must be a third dialect that I'm thinking of. That's unpleasant.
My Canadian word that like that you guys had some Canadian words that you would say and everyone's giggling at. My word was homer. That's a homer, because you watch Sports Center and they're like, oh, and he hit a homer. Oh my goodness, that's out of here.
Well, that's what I love. Like, we do a bunch of charity work with the NHL, and I love NHL hockey players because they're not like other pro athletes. Like, they're such goofballs and they don't take anything too seriously. Plus, like, that's a real team sport. Like, you know, I mean, they have each other's backs for real.
Yeah.
Like, you can't fuck with any of their friends. They'll kill you.
Yeah.
Do you, when you go do shows in Canada, do you find there ever to be like a translation thing, even though you wouldn't think it?
No.
I've never had that problem.
No, even to the point where I have a joke about the DMV.
Okay.
And they're like, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he had a good one.
Well, which also we used to do pounds and you know, we also used to translate them into the metric system whenever we went up there.
That was, by the way, I don't want to like. There's no spoiling this. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. Is the
metric shit.
metric. It is so that okay.
But now, Tug Heaven. So you made it. You made it to the pullovers. Did you make it through the pullovers? The part where we're all dressed up as the Mounties.
I made it to the pullovers.
To the pullover. Okay.
Yeah. But. I mean, I don't want to fucking ruin jokes.
Yeah.
Okay. Danny DeVito is hilarious.
Sure,
Yeah.
there's a Danny DeVito scene.
Fucking hilarious.
It's a great scene.
He's not in the movie, folks. But
He's not
there's
in the
a
movie.
Scene
But
about him.
It's almost. Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
So
yeah.
that-
No, that scene, like that was a scene that we wrote like the day before or 2 days before. Because we were just hanging out riffing. Nobody will know. Eventually they'll see it. They'll know. But
Yeah.
we were riffing about a joke about Danny DeVito with the guys who played the Mounties. And then so we wrote it up. And then the next day we went and we shot it in the movie. And we never thought it would get into the movie. And now it's like one of people's favorite scenes.
Yeah. Even on the day that we were shooting it, we're like, we're doing this, huh? Okay.
You know how it's like one of those jokes like you get fucked up whatever at night and you're laughing your ass off and the next day you look at it and you're like, that's not that funny.
But then someone says it over lunch and you start laughing
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
That's
what happened.
So when you write a movie like this, one of the hardest things in the world, from my perspective, is to translate what's funny in a room or what's funny in your head to funny through a lens of a camera.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed. Obviously, the Farver character, I'm sure you guys all know this. There's not one scene that he doesn't steal. Like, there's not one scene.
You mean except the ones that I'm in, right?
Yeah. I mean, you watch that character and you go, it's just so. It's so Danny. It's so not Danny McBride. What's that?
Fist way.
No. It's
Eastbound and Down.
It's so like Kenny Powers. Like, it's such a great character, like an identifiable character that everyone kind of knows, but it's never really known.
Yeah.
And so when you watch those, you're just like, that's great. So you, in a weird way, in my head, I'm watching from my perspective. I go, okay, they know those Farver scenes are going to kill. Now, so when they go to do other sketches, do you find yourself writing within the parameters of like, you know what works for us is these types of things?
Yeah.
Or do you find yourself going like I did not see the Danny DeVito thing coming. It didn't seem like it just was so out from left field for you guys.
I mean, it's a combination of all those things. Like there's 5 of us writing in the room. And so if it's making all 5 of us laugh, we're pretty confident about it because we all have different senses of humor. And then it's like, okay, well, that might be a pretty universal joke. You know, something like the Danny DeVito thing is something like, I mean, we had no idea. But those guys are also like, you know, it's different. Like, we're us. We write for ourselves, and we've had the good fortune to be able to produce these movies. All those guys are guys that rose to the top of their profession, auditioning
The outside
and
actors
proving
come in.
themselves.
yeah.
And so, like, they're actually just quality they're just good at their jobs.
Better than us.
So, like, they can come in, even because on the day shooting that scene, they're still working things out. Like, we're just throwing jokes around, figuring out how to make it hum, and then, like, they're just terrific.
Yeah.
You know?
In the Farver thing, you get the benefit of like the fact that the guy's crazy, right? And so any funny line anyone comes up with that's crazy or like inappropriate, they just give it to Farva, and then Farva says it.
But
so
like,
he's the benefit of a lot of shit.
And it's different because like if you go back and then watch the first Super Troopers, Farva's actually fair. He's more of an asshole. He's more of an obnoxious asshole.
You know what? No, I starting watching this and knowing you guys.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, is Kevin not? He's not going to be a part of the team the way I want him to. Like,
Right.
like, because I'm watching the opening thing,
yeah.
and I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
oh fuck, wait, hold on, because it's hard to explain, but I go, is this where this is going? Is this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then
Because we don't want him around.
when,
I don't know if you picked that up. Our characters
Yes.
don't want his character
but
around.
but I'm telling you, when and I'm not spoiling anything.
Sure.
When you walk in,
When I show up.
and when you show up,
Yeah.
go. I was pissing myself laughing, going, this is even better. This is better this way.
Yeah. No. We value the character, and it is funny because what Kevin's saying is true. It's like on this go around, we just started taking all the fucking obnoxious stuff and putting it right into his mouth, and the most outlandish stuff we could think of, we just give it to him. But the ultimate effect now is that if you watch the movies back to back, you see the first version is like, oh, that's, you know, people come up to us, they're like, we have that guy in our office. We know that guy. In the second one, he's just out of his mind. Everything he says is fucking insane, to the point where you haven't even seen the end of the movie. Like, I mean, he's fucking out to lunch, this guy.
But I look at it and I go, okay, there is an organization to this. Like, there's an organization to what you guys do, and like the scene with Gaffigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I go, that looks like you guys improv that in the moment. Like, it didn't seem like it was.
There was some improv in that.
But it seemed like the whole. It seemed like you went, we need to have a bunch of these types of scenes. Let's get some great actors. And let's just fuck around. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's scripted at all.
Some of that is like that. But the Gaffigan thing was kind of like that because he was in the first movie, right? Gaffigan. And so it was like, hey, come back and do the second movie. And now the guy's he's so successful and busy, it's like almost impossible to get him to.
Yeah.
And he was literally on his way. I think he was flying to the Wilbur. He had like 16 sold out shows at the Wilbur, whatever he does.
Yeah.
And he just came and landed in his jet.
on his private plane.
In a private jet. Landed. Came and did the scene with us. Never rehearsed or anything like that. And we just did it in a half day. And then he continued on to the Wilbur.
Which is a far cry from the first movie. The first movie he auditioned. And, I mean, that was when he was doing the Rolling Rock commercials and everything. And he nailed his audition. Kevin tried to veto him. He was like, I hate that fucking guy. We're like, why do you hate that guy? And he's like, every commercial audition I go on, I'm up against that guy, and he beats me out for every single one. Rolling Rock, ESPN, like the Lincoln.
He always used to beat me out for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So we all have beef.
Like, fuck that guy. This is my movie.
Yeah. We all have beef with guys that we see at auditions. We're like, no, not this fucking guy. Fuck that guy.
Right.
He tried to pull that. We're like, no, this guy's, no way. Fuck you, Heffernan.
Yeah.
We'll take him over you.
Sure.
And so, like, on the day, you know, we're doing the meow scene. It's, you know, I'm just, like, Soder's really doing the meow scene. I'm his fart catcher in that scene.
Yeah.
But I'm there. And we're joking around with Gaffigan. He's telling dirty jokes. And we're like, this guy's awesome. And we're like, you know, like, Stolhansky, get over here. And Chandra Sekar's in on it. And you can see, like, all the way down the highway. There's Kevin, you know, alone at the craft service table, just picking food. Won't come over because he doesn't want to meet the guy. And now they're like best friends.
Yeah, now we're buddies, right?
Yeah.
And he came back and did the movie.
Now Gaffigan's got a private plane.
How did you guys go about, how hard was it for these cameos? Because there's some pretty big cameos.
Yeah, some of them were pretty hard. I mean, you know, like I said, like most people have seen the first movie, so it's an easier sell to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, man, we need you. Can you come do a day? And a lot of people are like, absolutely. I don't even read the script. I would love to come and do it. You know, and sometimes it's just schedules or whatever. But we definitely wanted to. There are a lot of fans out there. That first one, we wanted them to be a part of it also. So some of those cameos are people who are fans.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we don't want to give anything away because there are some good
There's some
cameos in
fun
the movie.
Yeah,
Surprise
dude,
cameo.
that's what sucks about this interview is that, like, I so badly want to get, like, was that a real dick? Like, that's sure. Was it really?
You know, I mean.
Oh, I don't think he got to your full frontal nudity.
Oh no, I saw his cartwheels. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Wait,
gotcha.
But he doesn't mean my dick. He's
No,
talking
I mean,
about the other dick.
yeah, the other dick.
Yeah,
that
the other dick.
couldn't have been a real
Well,
dick.
that dick's in the trailer, right? Isn't that dick in the trailer?
That dick is in a new an Instagram.
Oh, got it. Okay.
clip.
Got it.
Wait, were you when I saw you do your cartwheels? I was like, wait, hold on. Did he? Are that?
Yeah. Well, it's so. I mean, you know, like, look, Kevin did full frontal in the first Super Troopers. I think that's the only full frontal that's been done in our
In the
movies.
history of the world.
Well, we've had plenty of butt,
Yeah.
and I think,
Yeah.
and like I've done butt like 3 or 4 times, I think.
Yeah.
You have a great body.
Thanks, but you'll give that to anybody. It's from what I hear. I mean, you say
Chandra
Sanders
Sekar, Lemme.
Yeah. I mean, you know, but so yeah, so like it was my turn, and I took a few cues from Kevin's experience because Kevin. It
was cold that day.
He didn't.
He
He didn't
cold,
exactly
Bert.
prepare himself.
It was a cold day, brother.
I've been there. Basically shot a porn for for a TV
for the
show.
Russian mob, as I understand.
Yeah, no, for a TV show called Hurt Bert. I was with a dominatrix. I would take dangerous.
Oh, you told us that story
Yeah, I
one time.
remember
And I was
that.
a dominatrix camp for an entire day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was nude and it's like my dick might look good when you pull it out first presentation,
Sure.
but if you let it sit on the table, it decides to go to its natural habitat.
Yeah, that's afraid of a camera. I mean, for sure. Like the second,
Oh.
I was fluffing myself the entire time.
Well, that's the thing. Like you wore warm shorts and you fluffed yourself. I didn't think about doing that stuff.
Yeah, but I learned.
Yeah,
I had empirical knowledge.
You live, you learn.
Yeah, so like, I had my hands on my dick the whole time. Because it's a son of a bitch. The thing, it won't cooperate. to my penis's credit, it did cooperate. The nuts, however, they were fucking assholes.
I did
Assholes.
for my Travel Channel show, we were in Paris with this couple. We took them to Paris, and one of the things we were going to do was painting for a day. And so they thought they were going to paint the Notre Dame, and then I came in while they were looking at the Notre Dame, and I said, guys, today you're painting a male nude model, and it was me naked. So I know this is happening. I get back to the thing. I'm naked. And there's like a time limit. They're gonna walk up here. We're gonna show them that. Let the cameras get ready, and then I want you to walk in and say your line. So I'm fluffing, but nothing's happening, and now I'm panicking. Now that I'm panicking, nothing's really happening.
You don't want to fluff too
and
much.
It's in Paris in the winter in a loft.
Sounds romantic.
And I when I said today you're painting me, and I walked out naked, my cameramen started laughing. My sound guy started laughing. No one even got the shot. And then we had said to the cameramen, make sure to cover it with something so we can show like put something in the foreground.
Sure,
so you
Austin Powers style. Yeah.
And they were so shocked at how small they were. They just shot it. They just shot me. And so you can't use anything because it's just me. And it's so small. Like, so small that my sound guy went and got a heater and brought a heater in because I was laying on a couch. Got a heater in and pointed it at my junk. And I swear to God, it went, okay, it's a little better. and it really, honestly, it ruined the trip because something happened between the guy and the girl. I guess it was a couple, and when she saw my dick, nothing. I don't think she was attracted to me, but I think it fucked her up. I think it scared her or bothered her.
Yeah.
And he was protective of her, and we kind of didn't really talk much after that.
Oh, really?
It was actually a really horrible idea that we did that.
Fuck.
And then we took her from right there and put her in a helicopter, and we went out to this castle. We spent the night at a castle, and in the helicopter, I was like, I am really sorry about that nudity thing. I didn't know that it would be this big of a deal. And he's like, and you got those headsets on, so you're like, and he's like, she just lost her friends in a helicopter crash about a month ago, so she's a little freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, we are torturing this poor woman. So yeah,
God damn.
That show Trip Flip was a comedy of errors.
Yeah,
because we never.
I bet she hated you. Like when you came out there for the nude thing, I bet she started to hate you.
I think. There was no way, like, I in my head, I was like, this can't do anything but good. He's going to look like he's hung like a horse compared to me.
Sure.
I'm fat, I'm overweight, but I guess it is aggressive to come out and show someone your dick, you know?
Yeah,
that's what we learned with the Me Too.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
especially
so.
a circumcised one when she's only used to uncircumcised.
Dude, we should have definitely cast that show differently.
You guys keep in touch?
No, I couldn't even tell you where they are.
Yeah.
I don't even know where they live. But like, so what? Go through the Broken Lizard team, if you can, and say the strengths or what you feel like their thing on set is.
This is a hard hitting question.
Wow,
we haven't been asked this question.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, have we been asked this question before?
I don't think so.
Let's see.
What do they bring to the table?
Yeah,
okay.
Who should we start with?
Well, Chandra Sekar,
okay,
is the director.
Yeah,
and he's. From the time we started with him to now, I mean, he's directed like 100-something episodes of television. Big TV shows. Like Community and all kind. Just week to week, that's what he does. And so you can see it, like when he comes onto the set now, he has a more kind of commanding presence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he knows what he's doing. He has experience, and so I feel like that's a good thing to bring to the table when we're fucking around and when we have all these outsiders that you have to impress a little bit, Yeah,
I mean, it used to be, he would show up on the set and he wouldn't tell us what he was doing. And so we'd be nervous. We're like, are you going to do the thing? Or he's like, yeah, I'm going to do the thing. Are you going to do the thing? Yeah, I'm going to do the thing. And then he wouldn't do the thing. And you're like, oh, fuck, we don't have the thing.
Right.
And so, but now he'll actually tell us what he's planning on doing, and we're like, you need to do the thing. And he's like, okay, right. So it's good. I mean, but like, look, it took a while for him to improve his communication with us, and he knows, like, and we've learned also, like it used to be in the early days, we would all bombard him with shit. Like we'd be coming from all sides, like you gotta do this, and now we get on the same page, and then we say what we're thinking to him.
He's also good with pacing. Like he's good, like keeping the things rolling. You know, when the comedy gets very pausy, then it's not going to work in the editing room. You know,
well,
so
he's good. He's boiled down his direction. Like his direction now has to do with speed. He's like, do it faster. Do it faster.
Right.
Do it slower. Not that fast. Do it slower. Which actually, you know, it's like you learn that from talking to some of the great actors like Brian Cox, who's like, I do one at the pace I want to do it. I do a slow take. I do a fast take. Then we got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Pick the one you want in the editing room.
That's so interesting you say that. Every video that I've ever shot that has gotten big responses is me talking fast and rattling off a bunch of crazy, like just almost like braggadocious, like almost like pro wrestling promos.
Yeah.
And I remember I did one sitting in this door about me partying and working out, and it was just nothing. It was nothing. But for some reason, I was like, I wonder if it's the pacing of that people respond to, or they find funny.
I think they do. You know, it's like I don't think you've gotten to the scene in the Mountie section, but it's in the trailer. There's a scene where we like do rapid fire French. Well, it's not really French, but...
No, I saw it. Yeah. Eau de toilette?
Yeah, so like... but like I go on a run of French there, and that's what like a lot of people are coming up to me now being like, holy shit, that fucking French run you do. And it's like, I guess... Like people do like to see somebody rattle off a lot of information in one shot.
But it's also just rhythm. It's like the rhythm of comedy. Like even when you're doing stand-up, you know, it's like you want to keep it... if it's slow and pausey, no one's going to give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Paul Soder, to me, Paul Soder's, he's like the Roberto Benigni of our group. Like he's got
old time comedy.
Yeah, like vaudeville, slapstick, schlock horror. You know, like he's got that like a good wholesome kind of sensibility, and he likes goofy stuff.
Yeah,
but I think he's also a genius. Like I think he's the best actor in the group.
Yeah,
and also like he comes up with just like fucking great random stuff. And sometimes you just, you know, like all of us, you need to like shape it. We're like, that's a little too goofy.
Yeah.
That's the way he goes. But I think of him as Benigni at the Oscars when he was going
climbing on the chairs and shit.
Yeah.
God, what happened to Benigni?
I don't know. It's back in Italy, I guess.
I guess if this isn't your country, why would you just hang out here?
He had his moment in the sun.
You can totally just be famous in your
cut
hometown.
to Benigni in Italy, like having like a menage a seven, like him and 6 girls. He's like, and life is beautiful, no? Yeah. All right, Stolhansky.
Oh, Stolhansky, he brings that kind of like earnest Midwestern guy type quality to the thing. You know what I mean? Like a straight laced, down to earth guy that people connect with. I feel,
but with a underneath that is a wicked sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I think it's good. Like he's got a prosthetic leg, and so he is that guy. But like when we were in college and stuff, like he used to fuck with people. Like when we had in our fraternity, when he had pledges, like he would be like, you know how much our fraternity means to me, and he'd like fire a nail gun into his leg, and like the pledges would all vomit, you know, like that kind of thing. I mean, really,
sure.
and like he'd
put out cigars in his leg and stuff like that.
Yeah, after dinner, he'd be like, leg chugs in my room after dinner, and like he'd have all.
How did he lose his leg?
Born that way.
Well, and he'd fuck with people. Yeah. Everybody would be like, "How did you lose your leg?" He's like, "I got hit by a bus. Yeah. I lost it to an alligator." You know, like that kind of shit. So he's got a good sense of humor like that.
My buddy Pete lost his eye. And never but by the way, we don't even know if he did or if they were fucking with us. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, Pete has one eye that is his
glass eye or something.
Yeah, and he's a professor now at Penn State, and I still to this day I don't know if that's true, but he always held it. Like it was like one of those things where he was like, yeah, I did lose an eye, and you're like, how did you lose it? And he's like, I don't want to get into it, and then he'd give you like 9 different ways that he lost it. One-eyed purple Peter Eater is his nickname.
Yeah.
And
because the truth is, the actual story is kind of boring. Like with Stolhansky, it's like he was born and they had a choice. You know, you could risk it. The parents were like, okay, let's take it, and we'll save the knee joint. That's the story.
Yeah,
but it's not good.
Yeah,
not good.
It's not good, and it's sad. It's a sad story. Yeah.
It's a sad story. Yeah, why wouldn't you? It was a good.
We're still waiting for him to let us do something really big in one of the movies. That leg. They won't let us do it.
We wrote a movie. We wrote one movie where we played a yachtsman,
right,
who got hijacked by Somali pirates.
Yeah.
And we were imprisoned in fucking Mogadishu, and like I think they took his leg in that one. They took off his leg.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's one of the best scenes in Black Sails. I might be the only one that ever watched Black Sails, but when they took off what's his name, the pirate's leg,
Blackbeard.
When they took off Blackbeard's leg, because it was that TV show was so fucking great. You didn't see it coming.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I just threw out I've never seen that show. I threw out the only pirate name I could think of at the moment, which was Blackbeard, and that's the name of the fucking lead character.
I think
Blackbeard.
so. Yeah, I think it's from. Oh, you ever see? No, what's it's Blackbeard.
That shit wouldn't fly. That shit wouldn't fly at a Broken Lizard meeting. We'd be like, no, come on, we got to do better than Blackbeard.
So then, what are you guys' strengths?
Well, I mean, come on. Kevin is our funny fat guy.
Oh,
and you need
Everyone
one of
needs
those.
one?
You can't. We couldn't have done it.
I don't know if you could do it without.
You cannot.
There's just so, and you're all, and I'm like, I was trying to break it down. I was like, is the strength of Farver? He is the receptacle for every joke.
Well, he's
almost.
He is an asshole. But he gives it as good as he gets it, and he doesn't really cry about it nor does he acknowledge it when people are like, "You're a fucking asshole." He's like, "Yeah, get used to it, baby."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's got some great. You know, his first line to Manuel Shrieky is an instant classic.
Yeah.
You know, he's staring at her bosoms.
God, yes. Yeah. Well, how do you guys come up with these lines? Is it just stuff you've heard, or like so many of those lines throughout this movie are just like, they're just like, oh, that I want to put that into my lexicon and start saying that.
We can't. I mean, we're not going to say what the line is, but it's like it was one of those things. I bet you know the guy. We were at a comedy club, and this guy he was an
old timer,
an old timer and an opener. And he, like, when we were up in the green room, he popped that line out to us. And, like, Kevin and I just, like, kind of looked at each other for a second. And as soon as when he left, the second the door shut, we were like, oh, yeah, there's a Farver line.
Using that line.
God, that's great.
But, look, there's, like, you need, I mean, so you, like, Belushi and John Candy and Chris Farley, like, there's a saying in Hollywood, fat is funny and funny is money.
Tom Segura is a fucking proof in the pudding, that fat fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I thought he's thin now.
No, he's gained it all back.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm putting a lot of it back.
It comes back fast, don't it?
Man, I gotta get back running because I can feel it. I can feel what's happening is I'm partying really fucking hard on Sundays.
Yeah.
Because Sunday's my day off.
Right.
And so I fly on Sundays, and then we have a party that Sunday night.
Where? Like at your house or something?
Yeah. I fly in, and then we'll have a party at my house with like friends and kids. And then I will be very hungover Monday, not work out Monday. And if I can not drink Monday night, I'm so good for the week.
Right.
But then in the case like last night, I went to Bobby Lee's house, and we had some really great, like we had a meeting over at UTA, and then we came back over the hill, and my wife's like, our kids are over at our friend's house. We get to our friend's house, and our friends were like, hey, do you want to walk over to the bar next door and leave the kids here? And we're like, fuck yeah. And then I'm like, I guess I'm fucking drinking.
Yeah.
So
when you hang out with Bobby Lee, do you guys just get naked?
Clothes come off.
Close. It was close. I think we're going to be doing a sprint triathlon.
Okay.
Me and him and
naked
his girlfriend. No, but I guarantee we'll be in a lot of low-rise Speedos.
Does Bobby? Okay, so he owns clothes.
He does, but bizarre ones.
Okay.
Right.
Like last night, he was wearing sweatpants up to his belly and his shirt tucked into his sweatpants.
With no underwear.
No underwear. No underwear.
He gets more Asian as he gets older. Have you noticed?
I think all Asian people get more Asian as they get older.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So do you guys have like a policing system on yourself for political correctness? Like, do you find that, like, I would assume, this is probably racist to me even saying this, but I would assume Jay would be a good sounding board because he's a person of color to go, I think that might be too far.
He's actually a terrible sounding board for that, I think.
Yeah.
For real?
I think so.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, he didn't want to do that French scene because he thought it was offensive to French people because neither of us actually spoke French, and so, like, there's kind of like a French runner that we had to put into the movie just to, like, kind of, like, explain how it is that we could do French accents. So yeah, he doesn't. He's
But with 5 guys, you can find the guys who can. Everyone's got a comment or a thought on how far to go and how far not to go. But I think we do make a conscious effort in the sense like our audience is made up of such a broad group of people. You know, it's like we have huge fans who are cops and the military and all that stuff, and at the same time we have huge fans who are stoners and whatever it is, and they come together and they watch the movie together and they laugh. You know, so it's like we definitely make a conscious effort not to try to offend one side or the other side.
I find it interesting that accents are now offensive.
Yeah,
sure, the French Canadian.
Well, you know,
we have somebody said that to us, but I don't buy that. I think
they said the obviously the whole thing with Apu. I don't know if you're following
I was just reading that.
Which is like in a weird way I can see that. I can see a white guy doing an Indian accent. I can see the offense drawn from it. I find an Indian accent like that more hacky than I do funny. Like I just don't find it funny. Like I don't go, oh yeah, they all sound like, because I think I know too many Indian people where I go, yeah, a lot of them actually, first generation maybe, or like a direct immigrant maybe. Yeah. But first generation just sounds like a regular person.
But still, the funniest Indian accent I hear is when Chandra Sekhar does the Indian accent.
Well, that's the
funniest one, because it's like there's an authenticity to it. The's like a
Russell Peters
experience.
Russell Peters does an Indian accent of his dad, which I guess I can't do. Oh, but I can. I don't give a fuck.
You can do it.
Yeah, he goes, you're gonna get the hurt real bad, like, and it's just the idea of fucking up the language enough. But his dad's a master linguist, fucking up the language just enough to make like. And I find it the authenticity of it is what I find.
No, I think it's funny. I think it's I think the line is when you're using it to make fun of the person as opposed to the situation.
I used to do a bit about Asians, and I go, and the Asian guy, I'm not going to do the racist accent because I do find it. I do find it punching down, although I don't look at people as up and down technically. Yeah. But I do find that if I was to do an Asian accent and just go, whatever, that I find that that's just offensive.
Well, because if you're not Asian, you can't actually make fun of all the nuances anyway. It's like a white guy will just do the R's and the L's. Yeah. And and call it a day. Whereas like if you I remember what was it, Angela Johnson, that comedian.
Okay, that's a really interesting subject because I wondered when I first saw that. Yeah, I was like, oh, she's in trouble, like because you're just making fun of a Vietnamese person. Yeah, and then her next character was a black person. And I was like, okay, and I was like, oh, but I found it funny because I was like, yeah, that she's really nailing the accent. Yeah, she's really hitting it out of the park. But I always wondered how did she avoid getting a target of like, you are just a racist? Because
she's Vietnamese and black.
What?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about this like she did that whole routine about like getting the nails done. Yeah. So or at least I think she is anyway.
No, Angela Johnson.
I don't think
is
she is
Mexican.
She is.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Well, I bought her whole thing.
That's why you didn't find it.
Wait, hold on. Angela Johnson's Hang on one second. Oh shit! Oh no.
I don't think that's true.
I think she's part.
Really?
Oh, I'm googling this right now.
Yeah, Alexa,
who's Angela Johnson?
Angela Jane Johnson is the first woman sentenced to death by a
for doing a racist impression.
They really took that far.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't expect
they
that.
Killed her.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Hang on, I'm typing it in.
No, but it's like Kevin's talking about, like when Jay does it.
By the way, can I tell you how racist I am right now?
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's Mexican because she was a Raiders cheerleader.
Sure.
That's the only reason I'm thinking.
I thought she was Hispanic, though. I did think she was Hispanic.
Mexican and Native American.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Native American.
Native American too.
Okay.
But that's why we specifically hired.
Maybe we should delete that chunk.
No, fucking. I like Angela Johnson. I got nothing against her. Yeah. I just always found it odd that like she kind of dodged the bullet on that one because that is like it is a place where I don't find offense, but I know that people do.
Yeah.
And I know that like when I was doing my special, I had a line in there that my buddy Tony, who oddly enough kind of looks like Jay, but is Cuban, was like right before taping was like, I've always had a problem with this line you say about this Asian kid. Can we change it? Is that going to kill you? And I was like, By the way, I grew up with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said horrible shit to him, and he said horrible shit to me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever introduced him to anyone other than Antonio Hernandez from Tampa Highlight, which is, I know now is racist that I do that. But
Yeah, you're very racist.
But
I'm Hispanic, you know, Bert.
Are you really?
And I'm offended by that.
wait,
yes.
you are not.
I am.
I thought you were French.
No. My father's from Argentina.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and my mother's born in America, but her mother was Puerto Rican, and her father was French. So there is some French in there.
Shut the fuck up. Do you speak Spanish?
I do, but that's how I'm allowed to do like the Spanish.
He does
accent
all the
Club
Spanish
Jet.
jokes.
Yeah. Oh God, I wish I was something. I'm British and Irish.
Mm-hmm.
I am what they call an oppressor.
Yeah.
Me too.
I just got my 23andMe back.
Yeah, you're whitey. You're whitey.
I am a hardcore
Yeah.
whitey.
Yeah.
That's why you let Lemmy do those jokes, or Farva does those jokes, and then you'll be okay.
Sure.
Then you're all right.
Yeah, if you've got a character that's basically an assumed racist, you just give him those
Sure.
jokes.
Dude, one of my favorite auditions ever was for the WB, and it was an improv show where they were following the election of a mayor, and I was his counsel or whatever, you know, like and I chose to take the guy racist. I chose to make him racist, and I was killing it.
Yeah.
In the audition.
In the audition,
Okay.
very racist, but I was making every white guy laugh, and the two people of color in the room were not laughing.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, but this is I'm doing a character, but I think they probably were like, this is really close to home. And I was like, it's not, but it's a character. It's funny that a character would, like, especially if you're talking to a mayor going like, listen, don't worry about the fucking brown people. You know, like, they're not going to vote anyway. That's not their people. Like,
Right.
and just because that, you know, that guy exists in politics.
Yeah. Sure.
And that guy's all over the fucking place, but
Right.
I didn't get it.
I think it's you were touching on it, like I grew up in New York City, and my group of friends was one of everybody.
Yeah.
And we just, when we were in high school, we would just rip on each other, and
Yeah.
like we'd make fun, like they called me the Spick, and like they would make, you know, like every slur they could think of was me. And it's like I had one friend who was like half black, half Japanese. We had, you know, a Korean Jewish guy, and tons of Jewish, whatever. So it's like it was never, never anything malicious about it, and so it was never anything I considered. But I think that the majority of people don't have that, and so like they are sensitive about things like that. I mean, obviously, you can't really just in this day and age just make fun of somebody else if you're not one of them.
Did you find that in the making of this movie today versus where you made it in the first place, did you feel like you had more reins on you or less reins on you?
Probably a little bit more, just because, you know, we know more now. But we still made the same jokes. You know, we had a runner in the first movie about how no one knows what nationality Jay is. You know, they thought he was Mexican, they thought he was whatever, and then
That was going through this one. I like
and
that.
then
I love
we
that.
replayed that joke here.
Dude, who's the when you guys are at the very beginning, you guys are going somewhere and you go through customs.
Yeah.
That older actor,
Yeah.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
He really.
Is he in the? Can we say who that is? I can't remember if he's in a trailer or anything like that.
I don't know if he's in the trailer. It's a cameo. He's a cameo. He's
Is someone? Is he famous?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he's amazing. I didn't recognize who it was.
He's a famous Canadian
I guess we could say, right?
actor.
Can we say it? Yeah.
I don't think it's a huge spoiler.
Bruce McCulloch, and he's one of the kids in the hall.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh fuck yeah! That's why I liked him.
Yeah.
And then the
Oh,
idea was
shit.
he's welcoming us into Canada because he's one of the most famous Canadian
We should have put it in parentheses.
sketch comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah. He destroyed that scene.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great.
it's great.
Destroyed that scene.
The funny thing is that like we wanted him to play up his Canadian accent, and he told us he's spent years trying to get rid of it to make it in the United States, and so like he actually couldn't do a lot of the Canadian accent. So we were just like, we were hammering this guy. We're like, no, you have to say sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and he couldn't do it. But I mean, he got it. We got it from him.
He was. That was such a great scene.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
He was great. I mean, that was one of those things where I was lucky to be able to get a guy to come and do that little part who was a guy that we all loved, you know.
So what scene did you guys write, shoot, and you were like, that was better than we expected? And what scene did you write, shoot, and you're like, I don't think we nailed that?
I mean, the Danny DeVito thing is the one where we're like, from the seed of it to where it ended up, like we were skeptical. Like we thought it was just a late night riff.
Oh.
And then put it in, you know, we were all skeptical the day of. In the editing room, we were like, no way, this is going to make the final cut anyway. But, you know, put it together, and and you know, throw it against the wall, see what sticks, and then it's like testing in front of the audience. It's like, holy shit, okay, it's actually a great fucking scene.
Yeah.
Maybe the best scene in the movie.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
what was the scene where you were like, I don't know if we ever really nailed that?
Some of those end up on the cutting room floor, right?
Yeah.
Those.
Oh, I guess you don't have to. You don't have to be married to a scene that you didn't kill it.
No,
in my head, I'm
get rid of
like,
it.
well, everything you shot is what you used.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean,
dump stuff.
there's a lot of chunks of things, you know, like things that maybe just go on too long, like the guest that wouldn't leave. You're just like, okay, it's run its course.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of those scenes where we were standing around in the station, and this, you know, and the scene goes on forever because everyone has their moment in the sun, and then you get in the edit room, and you're like, oh, we don't need that piece, you know. She'll take a whole chunk out.
Do you have someone sit? How does it get the editing process go? Do you guys all have a look at it? Do you guys all are some of you guys like hands off, or do you have like an editor? Like for like an hour special, you give an editor the first run at it. He watches all the footage and he just pieces it together.
Yeah.
And then we sit back and go, oh, I always saw that coming from the front. I always saw that, and then you go, can we work with the beginning and the outro is all I ever fuck with.
Yeah.
But how do you guys do that? The editing process.
There's an editor, and they start cutting on day one. You know,
they start getting the footage immediately while you're shooting.
So they're that's called dailies.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they cut so that, you know, if you miss something while you're still shooting, you could potentially go back and get it again.
Oh, Jesus.
So like holy shit, we don't have a shot of him grabbing that cup right there all of a sudden it's in his hand.
But then it's all for naught, because then what happens is, so Jay and Kevin then go in there, and Kevin is like, he's a supercomputer. He watches every single frame of footage that we have shot, and he logs it all. I guarantee you, like, Steven Spielberg doesn't do that.
For real?
Yeah. It makes it faster in my mind to be sitting there and going, you've probably done it when you watch your stand-up special. You're like, I know in the other show I was funnier at that joke or that line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And so like you sit there and you're like, oh, take 4. There's a funnier thing that Lemme does. We should be using that take instead. So the editor, they'll piece his own together, and then the way we do it is Jay and I go in there, and then you just sit there for weeks with the editor, just going piece by piece, reworking stuff, taking stuff out, putting it in. Then you start showing to some friends and stuff, and seeing people are laughing, and so showing it to like 100 people or 80 people, and finding out like the pacing and where the joke's not working, and then you just keep working it. I always found that I in my limited filmmaking experience has been doing a daily vlog. I got bored at Travel Channel, and I wanted to make my own thing and put it out, and I wanted to shoot it, and I wanted to edit it, and I wanted to put it out, and I wanted to make a product and see the response it was getting. And I always found that you'd edit it and you'd watch it and you'd love it, but then when you watch it with other people, you'd be like, oh, hold on, I can just skip. We don't need any of this. Sure.
Yeah.
Like when you watch someone else watch your stuff and you feel it lag, you're like, oh, okay.
That's the greatest tool, because yeah, you fall in love with your own stuff or whatever it is, but you never know until you show the audience. And it's that exact feeling in your chest that you get. It's like, oh, we can speed through this part. This is that's dead right here.
Well, that's
you never have that feeling just sitting alone watching it.
And it's necessary, especially when you're attached to something that you're doing, which we all have. Like, you know, there's a run in the movie, like Jay was really adamant about wanting to do this whole Chicago Bears riff, because he wanted this thing to become beloved in the city of Chicago. And on the day we were like, holy fucking shit, let's not do this thing. And in the editing we're like, this fucking sucks. And he and Jay are fighting about it. We're watching it, you know, like we watch the rough cut to get fresh eyes on it. We're like, that fucking sucks. And he's like making the case for it, and then you start to screen in front of the people, and it's like the movie's humming, it's humming, then you get to the Chicago Bears thing, and it's like 60 seconds, which seems like a fucking year.
Yeah.
And you just look over at Chandra Sekhar, and you see him each progressive screening. Really, after the second
The funny thing was, there's like 3 dudes from Chicago who were sitting in that friends group watching it, and they didn't like the Chicago thing.
Yeah.
So they're like, you should take that out.
Yeah.
And then finally,
and that's the thing too. It's like, because we're watching it in the editing room, like at first pass, and so that means there's like 11 dudes in there, and you're smoking some weed and you're drinking some beers, and it's like, and everyone's nervous. It's already tense. It's already going to be a tight viewing of the movie, and then that thing happens, and like, if it's you that's up there and you're not getting laughs, like, you fucking feel that right in the core of your soul.
Oh, I don't know if I could get high and watch myself. I might lose my mind.
It's freaky.
That's freaky. So are you doing that in an editing bay or a screening room?
It's in the editing bay, that first viewing.
Yeah, and then we'll move into like a screening room with like, 40 people, 80 people, and just get the pacing of, where people are laughing or not laughing, and sometimes you don't even realize it, but the audience starts laughing at a joke, and then you miss the next joke, and so you can go in and put space between the jokes so that the laughter falls, but you won't know that until you have an audience.
I've only written one joke, one thing in like a film. I shot these 2 shorts to promote that. I shot 2 shorts, and one. What were they? Oh, one was about this kid needing life advice, and his parents didn't know how to give it to him, so they hire me to come in like the wolf and give the kid life advice. And it was funny because it was me talking really aggressively to a child. By the way, I definitely had the child in the shot. Like, and I think that creeped people out. Like, I was talking about finger fucking, and it is a child.
Yeah.
And so I think that lost. Like, it's nice to go, oh, the kid probably wasn't there, but you're like, no, the kid's in the fucking room.
Yeah.
And I thought that was edgy. And that didn't work. The only thing I ever wrote that got a laugh, which probably is hacky, I know has been done since, but we had this kid. These kids are throwing a party next door. I go next door and ask them to quiet down, and they won't quiet down, so I decide to party them under the table. And so we do anal chugs, and we're all just getting hammered, and then one of the kids passes out, and we all come with markers, and we go to write on him, and when we pull back, it's now a black guy. And that was the only thing that I've ever had the idea, wrote it, shot it, and watched someone go, oh, that's good. And you're like, I was like, out of all the shit I shot, that's it.
But you do that on your specials, though. I mean, essentially, that's what you're doing in your specials.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't know. It's I can't express enough how hard it is to translate what you guys do on paper to film. Is so difficult. It's so much harder.
But you don't think it's the same? Like,
no, it's not at all.
I watched your last special, or the last special that you had out, and I loved it.
Oh, thanks.
And it's the story of like that story about your daughter being in the special group or whatever it was in school. Yeah. It's such a great fucking story, and that's just a written story that you wrote. And
it wouldn't be funny, and it wouldn't be funny if you shot it.
Sure, it could be.
Or at least let me just say, I don't know if I could make it. Like, I just wrote a pilot that I told you we're going to shoot in like 6 weeks. I definitely will talk to you guys about this afterwards. But my buddy Tony Hernandez was like, "Fuck it, let's just shoot it." He goes, "I think it's funny. Let's just shoot it. I'll pay for it." And so I was like, "All right." And he's like, "Let's just put it out. Let's just shoot it, put it out, and your fans will love it."
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll probably get another project from that because people will like it. It'll be a good calling card. Let's shoot it. And I was like, okay. And then I start going, hold on. If we're gonna shoot something, maybe is this the one? Like I start. Do you know what I mean? Like I start panicking, going like,
right.
Are these jokes any good? Is this funny just to me?
Well, I think it's like you have to have a few misses, and a few of those things that you're like, oh, I crossed the line on that or whatever it is, to have that. To get that sort of perspective of like, we do have to think about what we're putting out here, and for sure we doubt stuff, but I guess again it's because we have 5 guys and we're so.
But it's also there's that point where you realize you don't need to be so precious. You know what I mean? And it goes back to what you're talking about. It's like you should just make shit. You should make stuff and put it out there, and not get precious about it. You know what I mean? I
was like that with my first podcast I did. I recorded 6 times. I did 6 different first podcasts.
Really?
And never released them. And Segura came over and he called me, he said, we're coming over Easter. We're going to put your first podcast out. And I was like, hold on. He's like, you have the equipment, right? I said, I got everything. He goes, okay. And he just walked in. He with Joey Diaz and my dad. And he just hit record. And he goes, just don't stop. And now you have a podcast.
Right.
And it wasn't perfect. But it was great. And then I've gotten better at it. And I was like, oh, yeah, you just got to start making shit.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. And if you overthink it, then,
If you it's what is it, paralysis by over-analysis?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, paralysis by analysis.
Or the one I said the other day. It's the enemy of good is perfect.
Oh, yeah, that shit was deep. You blew my mind that day. Yeah,
you don't have to get perfect.
Yeah, perfection isn't always good, or something.
I'm a hardcore perfectionist.
Yeah. No, but listen, that's something that's happened within our group. I think there are, we have different personalities. There are some guys who are like, they're paralyzed by worrying about how things are gonna turn out, and you're like, just stop. Like, let's just. On the date, we'll just shoot a million things. We'll improvise some stuff. We'll fuck around. We'll keep rewriting some things. We'll have alternate lines of dialogue. But
just having confidence and
let's just go out there and do it. I mean, that's what we do. And if it doesn't work, then you fucking take it out. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys own the Outtakes? What do you own of this movie?
Nothing.
Nothing? Not a thing?
We sold it to Fox. I mean, Fox.
So it's their
owns it.
product.
Yeah.
The only thing we actually own from Super Troopers is the character Johnny Chimpo, which is from the first movie.
The drug monkey.
Yeah, that's the only thing. We don't own the characters. We don't own the names.
You don't own the characters.
No,
No.
that was why it was so hard to get this movie done. Is because they owned it, and we had to go through them.
Because I was like, Farver needs a fucking Instagram page.
Yeah, I mean, we
Sure.
could do. You know what? It's called KevinHeffernan.com. I mean, I don't know if you know.
I saw
It is
I saw the promo on Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some of the promos, but what I love is that the way media is going today with these 1-minute viral Instagram clips is there's so much opportunity, so much of the outtakes could be on the Instagram page once the movie premieres,
Yeah.
and really drive eyes to it, because it's what I used to love in the DVD extras.
Yeah.
I mean, the DVD extras of Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau in Made. Did you ever see the extras?
Yes. Yep.
Vince Vaughn is, it's the reason I'm in love with that guy.
Yeah.
Is those extras.
Yeah.
He was so fucking funny in the extras, in the outtakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, dude, this is my guy.
Well, that's the way I felt watching Danny McBride in Foot Fist Way.
Yeah.
You know, like
Can I tell you, I didn't like Foot Fist Way.
Really, I liked it. I felt he was doing a rip off of the Farva character,
Yeah.
but then like
I felt that a tad bit too. When I first saw saw Foot Fist Way well after it came out. But when I saw it, I went, yeah, I know the character.
Yeah.
And then when he did Kenny Powers, I was like, oh, that's a different character.
Right.
I felt it was different than the Foot Fist Way, and definitely different than Farver.
Yeah, but it was the outtakes in Foot Fist Way when I saw the improv takes that then I was like, all right, forget that I feel like he's doing what my friend does. Holy shit, this guy's a fucking genius at improv. Like he's improving circles around everybody else in the scene and owning them, and it actually works for the character. It was the outtakes where I was like, I think I like this guy.
Can I find that online? Do you think it's got to be online?
I don't know. I mean, I'm a DVD guy, so.
You still do DVDs?
Oh, I do. I mean, I have a shitload of DVD. I like ownership. I like to hold something tangible in my hand.
I don't.
I mean, I don't buy new DVDs.
Sure. Get rid of them all, bro.
Yeah, but I still
We have good outtakes in Super Troopers too. You get to the end of it, we have some good shit in the
Oh,
credits.
is it? But it's not in the cut I have.
It probably will. It probably is, but it's at the end. Yeah.
It's such a distracting fucking cut. Like it's whoever. Thank you, Sue, whoever sent it to me. But there's time code up top,
Yeah.
and then my name's
Your name's
water
on
printed
it.
in it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh come on, like I want to just watch the movie.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I'm really happy
high
to watch it. My
insecurity,
wife was leaving as I was starting to watch it. She's like, "Are you watching this without me?" And I was like, "Yeah, this isn't like a party.
I'm
This is
working.
work. This is work.
I'm working.
Yeah, I feel so. So when you get done, you edit it.
Yeah.
Is there like a point where you're like, all right, hands off. No one touches this anymore.
Well, it's more like the money runs out, right? So the money runs out, and they close the edit room, and then there's nothing else you can do, right?
Really?
Yeah. And so we had the editing room and the editor hired up to a certain point, and so you get to that point, and essentially you have to stop at some point. You could fuck around with it forever. You
I
can
would
tinker with it
fuck around
forever,
with it nonstop.
but you have to stop. But the painful thing is this: that we stopped, and this was back. We had our last big test screening. We're down in Orange County to 400 people. It was great. We made final cuts, and then we locked it, and we handed it. And then you do the sound mix at the end, which locks the picture because they marry the sound to the picture, and there's nothing you can change after that, or else the sound will be all fucked up. So you're done, right? And so we showed it to Fox, and they're like, God, we love it. We love it. We think the perfect release date is 4/20 because it's on a Friday in 2018. So we think that's a great time. That was 8 months from when they said that, right? So we're sitting there with a finished product, and we've got 8 months until the release of it, and we're like, fuck, that's so far away. It's so far away. And then you just want to change things, but you can't. You have 8 months to change things, but you can't change anything.
But now I'll tell you this though, it's like it was excruciating to wait for the 4/20/2018 release date. It was so far away. Now that it's coming, I'm fucking terrified.
Really?
Well, it's like, everything in Hollywood is how you do opening weekend. And so it's just like, holy shit. I mean, we know this. I don't know if you have this, but our crowd, like, we have a huge stoner contingent. Like, for the live shows, they don't fucking buy tickets in advance. They'll show up on the day.
Oh.
But you're just like, it's terrifying. Like, if the movie does well opening weekend, we can make Super Troopers 3, we can make Pot Fest, we can pretty much do a lot of things that we
Another
want to
movie,
do.
at least.
If it doesn't do well opening weekend, we're fucked. And so like that to me is and we know this and we've been through this, and in fact like we've had some really tough times with our release dates. Like you know, like Club Dread opened up against the Passion of the Christ. That sucked. Like that, the Lord
Oh my
fucking
God.
smote us down that day.
Are you nervous that 420 is Hitler's birthday and with all the neo-Nazi shit going on, there's some sort of attack in this country, and then you guys are like, they're like, oh yeah, Super Troopers 2 came out, but did you hear what happened in fucking Montgomery? And you're like, oh.
Yeah, every week there's something like, oh, we can't, blah, blah, blah. Because it's Hitler's birthday. I think it's Columbine. It's the reunion, you know, the anniversary of Columbine.
They do a reunion?
A reunion, yeah. No, it's the anniversary of Columbine. And then
visit.
So it's like there's always some fucked up.
Well, we were like, I mean, we were in Denver for the Aurora shooting. I mean, we had live shows, but that, you know, that like the good folks over at Warner Brothers were pretty excited about Batman, and then that, you know, that thing happened. I mean, it's just like
That's so crazy that's what our Ralphie May had a great analogy when that special came out, and he's like, pray for a snowstorm. I was like, what? And he goes, snowstorm, and your ratings are through the roof.
Yeah.
Because everyone's inside, nothing's really tragic, but you can't go anywhere. What's on TV?
Yeah.
So how does this work now? Is it released in all theaters or in like just a few cities, or like?
No, it's going wide. Yeah. They're what are they? 2,500 now, right? 2,500 theaters.
Yeah,
2,500 theaters is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the math of this. 2,500 theaters. How much money?
This is a game I don't ever enjoy playing anymore. I used to enjoy playing this game.
Really?
Well,
you got burned?
Well, because like on Super Troopers, they're like, "What do you think it's going to make?" Like I'm on video going like, "I think we're going to make $100 million." You know, and like,
what did Super Troopers 1 make?
In the box office, it made what?
20
million is a lot.
And then it made a shitload on DVD. I mean, it made as much as any Fox movie it made on DVD.
Yeah.
But.
So let's go through numbers of what you'll be happy with.
Okay.
What other movies
paying
come out?
the investors back?
You should play this game with Jamie because I don't want to play it.
Jamie, what's a good?
I always love 6 and 9 in numbers.
Yeah.
The good.
I just go with those.
69 million.
Kind of combination.
69 million.
96 million.
96 million.
Sure.
69 million.
Yeah.
$696 million. I'll be very happy.
6.9 million.
Yeah. I won't be happy with that.
Have you calculated what the actual like limit potential is? Like I always like it's when you do club deals, it's always
what's your
guarantee versus potential walkout.
Yeah, what's your
potential walkout?
God only knows.
I don't know.
Who knows, man?
I don't know. It'd be you know, like I
Well, here's
really
the problem,
get
right? The next
stammering.
weekend, Avengers: Infinity War opens, so that's it. You're done then, man. Then you're done.
Well, you could get some of that that spillover dollar, like all those sold out
Sure.
screenings. People will come. Also, you know, like we're doing something cool on 4/19 on April 19th. We're doing in I think like 1,000 theaters. We're doing double features. So at 420, Super Troopers 1, and then followed by Super Troopers 2.
That's really cool. That did not pan out well for the treble feature I went to, meaning like we were the only ones there, but it was all 3 pitch perfects.
Okay.
But it was the funnest thing I've ever done.
A treble feature.
A treble feature.
All 3 pitch perfects.
And it was.
Did you bring your kids?
No, I just went by myself. Yes, of course I brought my daughters. That's so funny. That's the second time I've said that to somebody, and they go, "Did you bring your kid?" Because the way I say it is like I just went by myself.
Bert loves pitch perfect.
It'd be a great Bert Kreischer sighting. Saw Bert Kreischer at the treble feature.
By himself.
Yeah, alone.
Laughing his ass off.
Trench coat. Yeah, those double features are funny shit.
Yeah, so it's going to be April 19th. 1,000 different theaters are going to do it. 420, Super Troopers 1, and then followed up by Super Troopers 2. So that'll, you know, I mean, that'll help because it's a slightly more expensive ticket because you're seeing 2 movies. I mean, not like, it's not double the price. It's like $5 extra.
I mean, don't give away your secrets, bro.
And you want me like surprise them when they get there? It's like a Trojan horse. Like surprise, it's $40.
Do you get insight? Do you get input on the marketing of it?
Yeah, we've been involved. You know,
that's my thing. That's where I'm exhausted in this business.
Yeah,
is like my special's coming out whenever it's going to come out on Netflix, and I'm so hands on with promotion because I've done it all myself.
Yep.
That I get real almost like last time I did this, I just had this conversation recently. The last time I did a special, this marketing company was like, we can help you get ads online. And my managers and agents are like, all the best work with them, all the best work with them. And I was like, I think I know more than they know. And they're like, no, you don't. And I paid them $3,000 a month, and they got me no views. They got me no more followers. They got me no profile. Like they didn't increase my profile at all, at all.
Yeah.
And then I posted a video. I did it on my own, and it got 39 million views. And I was like, you guys can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Never tell me what, like, they're like, so I remember we were going to do, it was like a really low level publicist, one that does clubs. By the way, if you're listening to this, I apologize. But she was like, I can really help you get some press for your special. Showtime wasn't giving me any. And by the way, Netflix won't give me any. Like, I'll have to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, okay, what would you get me on? And they're like, well, our big get would be Conan. And in my head, I was like, I can get on Conan.
Yeah.
And they're like, and if you could get me Joe Rogan's number, I would love, there's a few other guests. I was
We
like,
could get you on Joe Rogan.
I was like, I can call Joe. I'm not going to give you Joe's number. And then I started going like, oh my God, what can you do?
Yeah.
And they're like, I go, is there any, like I had said, Hot Ones was this show that I had seen that I liked. And she's like, I'm not familiar with that. And you're like, hold on, you don't even know what Hot Ones is? I was like, what about Jesus and Miro? And she's like, what is that? And I'm like, part of me's like, okay, I get real obsessive. So like the marketing of a movie,
Yeah.
I think I might lose my mind, especially if it's on 420. I might lose my mind.
You know, so like I think leading up prior to this movie, the best marketing campaign that was ever done on one of our movies was on the first Super Troopers by Fox Searchlight. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And what was done?
They cut a great trailer.
And the thing is, for that movie, no one knew who we were. It's like we were just five dudes nobody ever heard in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was not like a trading on any star or any name or any title. It was like, boom. And they cracked through the market, and they got us, you know.
We did like a
Pretty
6-week tour on a tour bus with like a shrink. It was like wrapped with the Super Troopers with our poster, and like we did free screenings across the country, and they sent us to Australia for 2 weeks. Great trailer. You know, like I remember being in Philadelphia, like the first time that I saw the TV spot play, and there were these college kids at the bar. They're like, "Holy shit, this is the thing we were telling you about." It was mostly the opening scene of the movie, but like it's about putting butts in the seats. And so anyway, so like I think
it's a fly around your head.
Dude, he's been
two
bothering
flies.
me.
I have two flies in this room. That one fucks with me and one fucks with that person.
yeah,
Okay.
he's fucking
Take him
with
down.
me.
Yeah, he's all over you.
Take that shit down, bro.
He's
It's
just
so hard to kill a fly.
Come on, guys. Flash
but so I think that they're doing it. Fox Searchlight is doing a great job on this marketing campaign. And part of it is that like it's not really their cup of tea. Like they're used to doing films like, you know, The Shape of Water and Three Billboards Outside of, you know, and so like they do classy.
That would be cool if they did The Shape of Water cast on a tour bus with his shrink wrapped.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the fish suit. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, that's what we were asking when, you know, we were doing the whole like the maple syrup chugs, like you know, you get Francis McDormand chugging this much shit. No, but so like they actually they take our input because I think they want to know what we think is funny, and they kick things over to us. Like, you know, if you guys can.
And there's jokes that we don't give away, and there's things like that in the marketing. Like they make a trailer, it's like, let's not go that far on that joke, whatever it is. They've been pretty open to that, which has been great.
But then they're the ones. I mean, like
They come up with great ideas. The posters.
They're like, you guys are kind of like a rock and roll band these days. With this, you've got a cult following, and like the reaction to these screenings is like it's so rowdy. They're like, we're gonna go down a rock and roll road, and so like this poster was on the Eagle is like. You know, I mean, that's like some Judas Priest shit right there, you know, like,
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like, I look at that poster, I'm like, that's the best poster, not only in our history, but in the history of movie posters. Like, holy shit, what a fucking great image that they've put together.
Yeah.
And
But no, that is definitely maddening, that kind of that marketing thing. I mean, Netflix, they're tough to, you know, to get your ideas through too, right?
Well, because they don't market as
Well,
their
they have their own
need
way.
to. Like, I remember my only experience really was through Segura when he did his second special. I was like, hey man, if you want to come on the podcast, you know, to promote it, and he was like, no, that's not what we do, I guess. He was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do anything. I'll do Rogan, and that was it. But Netflix is a place where people just go to find content.
Yeah.
And so it's you know, although there is a lot of stand-up, there is a very limited amount of stand-up. It only comes out, like, I think once a week.
Yeah,
And so
like every
if you're
Friday,
a stand-up fan, you go and scroll through, and people find it.
Yeah.
And so the concept, I think, really is to get as much content as you can on Netflix, and then that'll drive people to find you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be doing my own stuff, but like, you know, it's hard to get people to. it's easier to get people to go to a movie, but hard to get people to tune into something like at 11 o'clock on Showtime.
Sure.
No one fucking tuned in.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly now, like, you don't have to be on any schedule now, because
That's the beauty of that. We have a stand special on Netflix, and we had one on Comedy Central, the last two.
Yeah.
And just more people find the Netflix one, obviously.
The goal is then to get them to buy the Comedy Central one and put that on Netflix.
And look, you know, I mean, Kevin had a conversation with Brian Callen where Callen was just like, you know what, I don't really, like, I just believe in putting shit out there.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I believe in that, because look at what it's done to Brian and Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
They just make shit and put it out. Make shit and put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. That's why I'm like, fucking, the studio is Bert. The production company's Bert. Let's just Bert make everything, every fucking goofy idea I come up with. Let's shoot it and put it out there. Motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's great, because that's when you get angry in this business, when you can't get your shit done and you can't get it out there. But if you're going to do it yourself, then you will.
Do you guys have other projects, like non-scripted projects you're interested in doing, or do you have any like do you guys ever like go, hey, like we should do like a show for Travel Channel, like where the 5 of us go to Switzerland or do you ever do stuff like that?
There's one we're talking, like, we're having a very, very preliminary conversation about that with somebody.
Yeah,
but an unscripted show.
Yeah, an unscripted show.
Unscripted.
In the, you know,
And then we just shot a pilot. We shot a pilot for a scripted show.
Really?
For True TV.
Oh, that would be fucking.
Yeah.
If that goes, I think True TV is a fucking great home for you.
Well, and that's the thing, is that, like, you know, we're talking about Netflix. I mean, look, I would love to have a show on Netflix, but it's also like, you're just lost in Netflix. Like, there's not much marketing, and it is that thing. It's like going to the video store. Like, I have 1,000 things to choose from. True TV has been great because, like, they don't have that much stuff.
No.
They're trying to make a name for themselves, and they really kind of put their trust in us.
In comedy. So
They're really cool. The Impractical Jokers have really fucking killed it.
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
those guys. These guys are killing it. They're selling Madison Square Garden. Those guys. I mean,
So
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for 420? Do you look at your phone? Do you like that?
Curl up into a ball.
Yeah.
What do you do?
We'll be in New York City,
Yeah.
and we're going to be walking around to different screenings, which is a tradition that we've
Which
always...
I think, it's where we've always been when a movie opens.
All of you together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting high?
I think so. 420.
Yeah, it
We're
depends.
gonna pop into a bunch of screenings. Like they're actually setting it up now, because we said we'd do it anyway. Now they're setting it up where we'll go in and say hello, answer some questions, or get out of there. Just random screening drop-ins, you know. But then you start. The problem is earlier in the day you start getting the numbers. You know what I mean? And then the numbers come in. It's like a telethon. You know, like you're watching the numbers.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and then there's like towards the end of that Friday, there's the phone call where they know how you're going to do for the entire weekend.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like on Super Troopers 1, we were at the Ace Bar in New York City.
Yep.
Down on like, what, it's 6th or 7th Street and like Avenue.
Yeah, between A and B.
A and B, yeah. And like, we got the call from Searchlight. They were very happy with the opening, with the opening night, what the weekend was going to... I mean, it was a movie with no stars. And they were
on the other hand, I remember getting that Club Dread call on Friday night and being like, it bombed.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
That's the bad call.
Yeah, it's a terrible call.
Yeah.
Really?
That's why it's such a shitty day. But by the way, it's like... You know, so like we were friends. George Clooney was one of the original executive producers of the first Super Troopers.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you know, he pulled out for a variety of reasons. But like we were with them on the opening day of Perfect Storm.
Yeah.
And it was like that was like his first big leading role. It's like, and they were terrified about that. I mean, opening day is a fucking terrible, terrible day for people.
It is
in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'd like to make a movie one day, but I don't know if I have that kind of attention. I don't know if I could pay that much attention to something.
Yeah.
Like I have a really short attention span, so I'm like good at like real quick projects. That's why I like Instagram so much. So I go like, oh, I'm gonna make a 1-minute video. I'll edit it up. I'll put some music on it. Okay, let's just get it done. And then I get so panicky that I'm like, get the fucking You know what? I don't even need a tripod. I'll just put it on the and so I just shoot it. But I don't know a movie. I think.
But you team up with. I mean, don't you? Do you get directors for your stand-up specials?
Yeah.
Who directed? Who do you have direct?
Todd Bierman. He does It's Always Sunny.
Okay.
Which was one of the things that made me laugh so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Todd Bierman and then Tony, my buddy Tony. So for like this scripted project we're doing, I'm sure we'll probably see if we can get Todd to direct it.
Yeah. But then you have somebody who's in that world, and then you don't have to worry about that shit. You let somebody else worry about that shit.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of I'm difficult to work with, and I really am. I legit.
Bert Kreischer, difficult to work with.
I'm very much of a perfectionist. And I think that's only coming from like a realm I was qualified in with the non-scripted.
Yeah.
I think in scripted I'll be a little more concerned about me. I think I'll have the Rodney Dangerfieldism of like no one's laughing in the room. Is this funny?
Yeah.
Right.
I think, you know, one of the things, I mean, we're constantly learning. Everything we do, we're always learning, you know? And so, like, you know, I think one thing we learned pretty early on was that, like, if you're shooting something, if you're doing stand-up comedy, it is all about you. If you're writing something with an ensemble cast, because it's still an entire piece, like, you have to make sure that every character is doing something good, and that every scene, everybody's popping in the scene. Otherwise, like, you don't want it to just be the Bert Kreischer show.
Oh, this show actually is not.
It is.
It's called the Bert Kreischer show.
No, it's not even remotely. I'm going to tell you about it. We'll wrap this up soon. I know these fucking flies are driving me nuts too.
I just feel bad for Jamie, who's like sitting here watching this stuff. Like, you must be bored as sin.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So, Jamie, why don't you? Do you want to come over and get on mic for a sec? So now, Jamie, are you related to the guy I met?
Oh, to Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt was here the other day, right?
Yeah.
That's your husband?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like to talk about it, though.
he's a great guy. He's a really great guy.
By the way, see, this is how you know that you're shooting like you've got a big movie, a big studio thing. Like, you actually have somebody come and your handler.
That's impressive.
She's coming and handling us.
I'm always like, I'm always like, yeah, you can, like, that Matt came over and I was like, yeah, you can just come in here. I don't want him to sit in his car. And he just came in here, and then I was like, well, get him on mic. And then we started talking about what he was doing, and you could see Jordan was like, this is a little bit about me, right, guys? And I was like, wait, so talk to me about publicity. But
no,
He
that's
was all excited when he left.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
He was all excited and pumped about it.
That interview goes out tomorrow with Jordan Klepner.
This
but
is how
that's
we climb the ladder. Look at last time we
Yeah.
did in the man cave. It was just us.
It was just the three of us.
Yeah.
And we were holding microphones.
Yeah. Now
no,
look-
I think this was here.
Nope, it wasn't.
They weren't?
Nope.
Okay.
I remember and I was like, I still didn't know how to interview people yet. So, like, you guys came in, and I was like, do you guys want to ask me anything about me? I was always, when I initially started this podcast, the idea was I was the guest.
Yeah.
So whoever was here got to interview me, because I'm a really good guest on things.
Yeah.
But I'm a horrible host because I talk over people and want to tell you about my experiences.
All right.
That's why I started the solo podcast, so I could get rid of that, because I'll Google shit during the week and then I'll bring it up to you right now, and you're like, I don't really give a shit about Owen Gray.
but you as the host still have to make sure the podcast is entertaining, and you can't count on us to come and do that.
Well, I know what's entertaining about. I know what's like this. I think Super Troopers is such a little bit of like a grassroots phenomena film,
Yeah.
where people found it, loved it, celebrated it. That in watching it, I was like, when I started watching it, I go, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, the only question that you do not have to answer that I'm dying to know was, did you have limited availability with Will Sasso?
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think I know what you're talking about.
We'll tell you that. Answer to that. later.
Okay, because there was a scene where I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, now
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny because it's like the whole grassroots thing. I mean, like, you're catching us at what I think is the funniest period of time in any of our lives, because, like, we spend so much time, like, in the evolution of this movie. It's been almost 10 years trying to get it made from start to finish, and here we are. We're on the Fox Searchlight promo tour,
Yeah.
which means that, like, we get to stay in fancy hotels. We have, handlers bring us to do podcasts that we've been on before without handlers.
yeah.
We go, like, on each, we've been in, like, 15 cities showing the screenings, and in each individual city they have individual PR people from that local market, and they'll walk us into the restaurant, they'll seat us, and then they'll start to walk away, like, where are you guys going? And they're like, oh, we're just gonna sit at the bar. And you're like, get the fuck over here, sit down, like, let's have dinner together. We're dudes from the planet Earth, like, come on.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's like, it's actually the most fun period of time, because, like,
Sure.
we get to play like we're movie stars for a little while.
The work is actually done, and people are actually going to see your movie. So it's good.
But that's why April 20th is so terrifying to me. That's when the fun. That's when the fun ends. Right.
You'll be
there.
eating alone again on April 24th.
We'll be doing your podcast by ourselves.
Hey, by the way, you guys can still do my podcast. You don't have to have a movie.
Okay.
Jamie, will you come and do the podcast with us anyway?
Nah.
I will.
Nah.
Yeah, nah.
I'm going to be with you on the 21st, too.
Okay, there you go,
Yeah,
see?
Not on the 22nd.
The 22nd, then you're eating dinner alone, Lemmy.
Okay.
So what about stand up? Are you guys still on the road at all?
Yeah, we've taken a hiatus to do the promotion,
Yeah.
to shoot the pilot, and then also to do this promotion.
Yeah.
Which they went
and
right
then we
into
shot
it.
our special. We shot our latest special in January.
Oh, nice. Has
Here.
it aired yet?
Not yet. It's they're just finishing the editing of it, and we did it
Nice.
with Comedy Dynamics.
Oh yeah.
And so
Shout out to Brian Volkweiss.
Brian Volkweiss.
They're awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, they're probably the premier company to do a special with.
Yeah,
they're
it's
terrific.
great. Because we like produced our Comedy Central on Netflix one ourselves, and there's a lot of shit. I mean, there's a lot of shit you end up doing. And then these guys came in and they did a great job. So they're editing now. They're smartly waiting for the release of the movie to decide where they're going to sell it to or put it out on. So if we do a successful thing on 420, then they get a better paycheck.
God.
So we shot that.
I don't want this pressure. Like I'm
Sure.
thinking about you guys. I would love to have made a movie. I would love to have crowdsourced it and made a movie. I would love to have shot it and edited it with my friends, and I'd be so proud of that product.
Yeah.
But fuck everything else. Like this fucking April 20th shit's giving me anxiety.
You know what's so funny is that Kevin and I are very fortunate. We shot a stand-up special. We shot a TV pilot. We've got a movie coming out. Like
this is the height of your career.
It's great.
It's the peak, and it's like.
By the way, I'm at the height of my career too.
Yeah.
We're at the height of our
We
career
all are.
right now.
We all are.
And no one knows who we are technically.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
No, totally.
We can still walk down the streets without,
But we're like in the shit. Like we're on tour, getting notes from the network on the pilot we've shot, doing a bunch of shit, like looking at still photographs, looking at cuts of the stand-up special that we did, and we're like, holy fucking shit, there's too much stuff on our plate.
Yeah.
We're getting, and then it's like all the marketing stuff from Searchlight and everything, and it's like it's a success problem. It's exactly what we want.
Sure.
But everything really does rely upon opening weekend of Super Troopers 2. Because if Super Troopers 2 kicks ass, then it's like, yeah, you're going to sell a special in a nice place. You'll get the green light for the TV series, and
But if it doesn't do well, you'll still be, you'll have a nice family, and you love your kids, and you'll be all right. Right?
Go fuck yourself. No, it's funny too, because our first gig out of like a couple weeks after the movie comes out, we're going up to Green Bay.
Right, we're doing a little like casino swing.
Ooh, I love casino money.
Yeah.
So that was it. It was like we kind of put all the stand-up shows off until the summertime, and just because of all this shit. And so the only one we booked was one of those casino swings because the money was too good to turn.
Oh, the money in casinos is fucking legit.
Yeah. But
I gotta be dead honest with you. Super Troopers 2 can do whatever it wants. The TV shows can go away. If you guys could get hooked up with a casino runner through the country, you'd be making more money than anyone.
Sure.
Oh, we love casino shows. But like on the flip side also, well, casino theaters are fantastic.
Yes.
Clubs in casinos.
I've done the big room in a casino.
Yeah.
Where it seats like 600 and you're like, I want to be, if you can get to 1,200 seat casino rooms.
Yeah.
Soaring Eagle, hit your boy up.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah, no, we're gonna come back here to promote some shows. The first one we ever did was comics. It was the comedy club at Foxwoods.
Right. Which doesn't exist. It was at. It's switched now.
I've done it.
It's moved to Mohegan Sun now.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It was you were walking down the hallway. It was off to your left.
It's to the left.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Couches in the front row, belligerent gamblers who've lost all their money or like passed out in the front row. And then Loretta Lynn was playing in the theater, and she canceled because she got sick. So they comped all of her crowd, which is like octogenarians.
The Loretta Lynn crowd came to our
They're like coming in on scooters. They've got nose hoses. They're complaining about the 2-drink minimum, and like I mean, those shows were fucking terrible.
Dude, I can match bad casino shows.
Yeah.
Show for show. I did that exact same room.
Yeah.
Yeah, casinos are interesting because I'd always think I have good runs. The ones up in Sacramento, just up North Sacramento, those are great, and the ones in Oklahoma, Thunder.
Yeah, Oklahoma. I think you came through after we were at one of those ones.
Asylum Springs,
I don't remember
the Cherokee Casino.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
We've been there a couple times. I love that place.
I love those casinos,
Right.
and it's really great money, and they're just
they treat you very nicely.
Yeah, I've always had a really fun time at them.
Yeah,
but well, I'm really fucking happy for your all's success. How long have we been going?
140s.
Whoa,
that's a little longer,
Good.
but I appreciate you guys hanging out. I apologize that I got so fucking like into the fucking logistics of this.
No, it's
But
good though.
It's such a great fucking movie, and I'm halfway through. And trust me when I say, when I started it, I was like, God damn it, I hope this doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And then right when it starts, I went, okay, I'm in.
You know what's funny is that I think legitimately every person we meet who at these screenings says the exact same things. I came in here and I was like, I hope this doesn't fucking suck. And then a lot of them say, you know what, I want to come back and watch it again because I was nervous for the first like 5 or 10 minutes.
I was nervous. I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was very nervous for the first 5 or 10 minutes, and I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
What the fuck is going
which
on?
Which kept me involved.
Sure.
Right.
Which I don't know. I'm sure you did on purpose.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, okay. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I know what's going. Oh, okay. All right. We're back. Hey, there we go. I was like, fuck. Wow, you guys got me. But I want to be a part of this 420 release. I'll just be texting you all morning, just like,
Okay.
how we doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll send you numbers.
What I'll do is I'll text you guys fake numbers so that you can like be like, guys, we're opening big, and then go, oh, really bad.
It's funny because
According to Bert, we're looking good.
oh, thanks, Bert. Yeah, no. As you joke about it, inside I'm not enjoying your joking. I'm like, it's so. We've had them in our careers. It's like it's the darkest day. You get that phone call late on Friday night. You're all partying together already, and it's like,
Do you keep partying? That's the question.
yeah. Well, you party sadly. That's when it turns. That's when they turn dark.
Right.
And then the people like so like Beer Fest, for instance, was at that moment in time was our highest testing movie. It tested really fucking well.
Yeah.
But what happened is Warner Brothers tested it in June, and then we're like back to school, and so they threw a lot of money at the marketing, but they only had like 5 weeks to market. The movie wasn't even done, and we were on tour marketing that movie, and like you need more than 5 weeks to market a film. Jamie will tell you need like 6 months to properly do it. You need a long runway. And so, and then the studio like increased the projections for what it was going to be, and so like I think they wanted to make like $50 million or something right off the bat. But so like the movie, I think Beer Fest is a great movie, and like that phone call we got was that we had not even come close to our expectations, and we were out at the Grove. We were partying at the Grove that night.
That's all right. We're gonna get good calls on this time. Don't worry about it.
I think so. I think so. Definitely.
Thanks, Bert.
I think it's going to be fucking great.
Thank you, Bert.
I think that it's just you know, I think number one that I've thought about this a little bit because I couldn't I like Club Dread is my favorite out of all your movies.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just love that movie.
Yeah, I do too.
But I was like, I can see that a lot of people wouldn't understand that Club Dread was Super Troopers is a different movie than Club Dread.
Totally different.
Yeah, totally different. Just a different fucking movie. Beer Fest, different fucking movie.
Yeah.
But I think people go, oh, I loved Super Troopers. I'll love Super Troopers too. I think you have that momentum behind it. Because when I start, I go, I love Super Troopers. And then when you show up in the first scene that you're in, because that was part of my concern, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
I go, oh yeah. It's almost like a warm blanket or a catchphrase.
Yeah,
you know, like you go, oh, this is my guy. Like this is, oh, these are my guys. Okay.
Yeah, mother's milk. Farva is like sucking at your mama's teat.
By the way, when Jay shows up, I was laughing hysterically, thinking that was a bit.
Right.
That I thought like, oh, so he got on steroids so he could do this. Yeah. And I was like, oh, good one, Jay. Like, and then I was like, wait, no one made notice of? Like, what? Okay, never mind.
Dude's ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what movie you're watching, but that's cool.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys doing this.
Thank you,
All the
sir.
best luck
Thanks for having us.
with the premiere. And I will do whatever I can on my side. I'll tweet about it, post about it, and blow up all my platforms.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
But I'm fucking really excited for you guys.
Thanks, man.
And
Appreciate it.
I just want you to know that I really do plan on capitalizing on your success. I expect a fucking cameo in the next fucking movie.
Okay.
I'm not even
We
fucking
should actually. I mean, what are we thinking? What are we
no
thinking?
shit.
What are we
the
thinking?
whole time I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking, no one could have called me.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because the studios, they're like, you know, you need influencers, man. You need to put influencers.
Did they really
in here.
say that?
Oh, all the time. That's all they say now is like, you know, I mean, across the board.
Sure.
TV,
Oh my God.
movies, influencers. You're an influencer, Bert.
No, I'm not. I'm an alcoholic. All right. Well, let's.
Well, you know influencers.
I know. I definitely know influencers.
Yeah.
I definitely have some friends that are influencers. I'm an inductor.
Inductor into the
No, like I can not inductor. Conduit. I'm a conduit.
conductor.
Okay.
Conductor. Yeah, I'm a conductor. I can take the energy from influencers into areas, but I can't. I'm not an influencer.
But he wants FaceTime. We can Bert FaceTime next time, man.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Or just yeah. but something low key.
Sure.
It's like not really totally scripted, but
Well,
Just
like
get your foot in the water.
yeah, something really
Yeah,
low
yeah.
key, like
Yeah,
just that it's something I can't fail at, but
Sure.
that
is it the kind of thing that like we'd be like, hey, no, Bert Kreischer, great guy, he's hilarious. No, he's a great actor, and then you show up on the set and you'd freeze and
no. I'm a pretty good actor, I think, but
Shirt comes off, boom.
like put it in my comfort zone,
Right.
Like I always think a guy in a Speedo
Sure.
killing beers, right? Something like that. Like
Yeah.
like the guy that says one line and then gets hit by the car.
yeah.
Like something like we just like.
I tell that to my agent all the time. I'm like, the fucking dude who said, like, why can't you send me in for those
Oh,
roles?
I can't watch reenactments on History Channel. I go, how did this guy book this?
Yeah.
Why the fuck am I not doing reenactments?
Why am I not George Washington?
Well, they're like, you don't want to do that. It's too small. No, I do want to do that. I want to be that guy.
Well, I'm gonna hit you up about my scripted thing. I'm gonna talk to you about it right now when this is over.
Okay, good.
But I'm gonna definitely hit you up for some opinions.
Okay.
But congratulations, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Congratulations, everyone. You've heard it at the beginning of this. The movie Super Troopers 2 comes out
420, baby.
That's so get a really high sativa, right?
A sativa. You're gonna want a sativa. You
Yeah.
probably want a hybrid. Something that like will still keep you
Girl
focused.
Scout cookies.
Girl Scout cookies is a sleepy on the sleepier side.
Oh,
of
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I always go for like something like Phyllis Diller.
Okay.
Like a nice and just a giggly weed. Go into your dispensary.
Yeah.
Say I'm looking for a giggly. By the way, that you have that at your back too. Is dispensaries weren't open when you came
I know.
on Super
Yeah.
Troopers.
Yeah, like
know
get a Dutch treat. Dutch treat will make you laugh your ass off, and it'll keep you focused.
All right, guys. Enjoy the movie. Hit me up. Tag, post, help them be influencers. Tag about the movie. Post your experience of the movie. Put it on Instagram. Put it on Twitter. Tag these guys, and your Instagram is Heffernan.
Heffernan Lemme is our Instagram. I'm also Steve_Lemme
Yeah.
on Instagram. On Twitter, he's Heffernan Rules, and I'm
Yeah,
Steve
of
Lemme.
course. And so tag, share it. That is the way to spread grassroots. That's how this movie got popular in the first place.
Yeah.
So help them. Just enjoy the movie. Enjoy the movie, but while you enjoy it, remember, tag it on social media. Tell a friend. That is how these things get successful. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Bert.
appreciate it.